but it was on the uniform of an MP.
Oh, one of my videos.
Yeah.
A civilian hired MP or a
No,
BU?
it was an actual army.
Oh, right, on his vest, not
Yeah.
actually part of his uniform, but on the vest. I don't know if that was a load carrying vest or if it was a bulletproof vest. But yeah, I remember someone pointing that out. I didn't even realize it when he's right in front of me. Yeah, I found that, in my opinion, ironic because this piece of cloth behind me that's wrapped around Uncle Sam, which also another, in my opinion, a misuse of the American flag. I forgot my point. You know what? I've been up all night and I need coffee. I will be right back. You guys go ahead and continue. I'll be back in a moment. Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and pilot this conversation for you until you get back. That's fine. So okay. Originally, I heard that the flag was a gang symbol. Somebody hated that gang symbol. Muckstar, I believe it is, and then Michael Andreas. I don't think I've ever met you guys. How's it going?
Doing fine. Yeah, I also am not happy about the Blue Line Gang flag.
Yeah, but so it's an absolutely disgusting symbol, isn't it? It's like absolutely disgusting. Like I would hate to look at that symbol.
Yeah, well, it's disrespectful to the flag for one, not illegal, right? And it shows a divide between the police and everyone else.
Right, and then what do you think about it being over an American flag? Like, isn't that extra insulting?
Yes. So like is that what you're trying to show that the police are really running things?
Yeah. So what if I told you that somebody had this displayed in my local area and I just so happened to take a picture of it and now it's my YouTube avatar?
Well,
because I thought all those same things. And then I was like, you know what? I'd like to try to locate the person that thought it was acceptable to do this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to post this to a Facebook group. Maybe we can figure out who was ignorant enough to do something like that. And then the Facebook post kept getting taken down. And all I did was ask for thoughts, just like I did up on this panel. So it'd be almost like somebody, maybe taking away your YouTube channel because you discussed the thoughts of a gangline symbol flag.
And this is a total assumption, but I'd be willing to bet as much as $1.85 that the person flying that flag considers themselves a super patriot.
Yes, 100%. I would agree with that 100%. Oh, I'm restreaming this on my channel, by the way, David Simple. All right.
I have no copyrighted thoughts, opinions, or anything I put up. It's free for anyone to use. I'm not monetized. I really don't care. It's just.
Well, you said you were going till about 11, which is cool. You know what I mean? Like I can restream it until 11. Even if I drop out, you'll still be restreaming on my channel.
Okay.
I'm BSBT, Broken System, Broken Trust. You may have heard of me.
I have heard of you. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Today on Daddy's a court-appointed auditor. So, you guys got Daddy's court-appointed auditor today. So you're in luck.
Okay. I missed some of your conversation while I was getting my lifer juice, but I believe what I caught coming back in is you were saying people were using it to take down YouTube sites and Facebook sites. Is that?
Well, I was explaining because Muckster had mentioned something about the flags. Is the person that put these flags out there probably thinks they're super patriotic, and they back the blue, they support the country, and they have little to no idea what they're even like. They can't even the cognitive dissonance to put a symbol out there like this and not have any clue what it means, and then to just yes, I think. I asked to locate the person in a Facebook group, in a local Facebook group to me. And then that Facebook group, all I said were thoughts. And then I shared it, right? Yeah. It would instantly get taken down, like 3. And it said no political ads. No, I'm like, a blue line flag isn't really political. Like, you know what I mean? Is it? I mean, is it political?
No, there are many opinions on it. many small police forces use it without realizing its negative aspects. I think a lot of people do, fully knowing the negative. That means I got your back, you got mine, even if I
Agreed.
did the wrong thing.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
I saw it in Sherrill, New York, and I don't believe they are like that. Although I ran into one officer, it's a very small police force. He thought he could intimidate me into IDing, and he was kind of pushy, but he didn't go too far. He was relatively new on this like 4 or 5 person police force, but they all have the blue line flag, and I honestly don't believe they use it in that way. But the next town over, I see solid black flags with a single blue line. There's a way to be supportive of law enforcement. It is a dangerous profession, and I really think we need law enforcement. But I think there's a difference between those two flags, and the one I see
Yeah.
on your avatars. It's evil. I don't think everyone who uses it realizes
It's
evil.
quite offensive. Would you agree that it's quite offensive, right? So that was the whole idea in the first place, was to be how offensive can I be without totally disgusting and throwing folks off? Like how disgusting could I actually get before folks just, just didn't want to look at things anymore. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And I if you set aside what it stands for to various people, it is offensive to me. Of course, offense is something we choose because I believe in U.S. flag code. U.S. flag code is not criminally enforced. It's not even civilly enforced. It's just out there for us to follow, and most people don't. What I see in that avatar are 3 things that I believe are against U.S. flag code. First thing, tattered flag, U.S. flag, still being flown, not being properly disposed of. Second thing, an altered U.S. flag, the black and white with the blue stripe. And third thing, when 2 flags are displayed in America, with the U.S. flag being one of them, the U.S. flag should be the highest displayed.
Right.
Man, that was beautifully articulated. That was awesome. I mean, I couldn't have articulated that any better myself. Now, I did want to go back to something that you were talking about before I decided to join. You'd brought up Wally, Stone Vet, Shiz. I don't know these folks all that well, but, I do kind of mingle in some of the same camps or similar camps. Yeah. Now, how come we can't have these sort of discussions like with Stone Veg or with Wally, or, you know what I mean? Like they see this symbol and they see it pop up, and like they'll see me in chats and stuff. They won't even, like, they act as if this doesn't bother them, and they're supposed to be vets, Like I would think a vet would be deeply frustrated or deeply offended by my avatar.
Suggestion.
Go ahead.
Use the same avatar, but put a diagonal line on top of it for the knot.
Yeah, that'd be.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah.
Well, for me, I guess the point I was trying to make and where I was going with it was, some of these YouTube channels out there, they're interested in having discussions. Others are interested in fanning flames and kind of making, like, fabricating some sort of drama, right? That's what I've started to notice, and I'm surprised I didn't see it earlier. That folks were just, I mean, like Stone Vet, he'll say things like. The guy is basically what he is he's KFAR on steroids. That's what he is. He makes fun of KFAR and Wrangler, but basically what he is, he's exactly like them, but on steroids. He's the exact same thing as what they are.
I don't know about the. Leave me alone. I forgot to turn you off.
Isn't that the idiot detector?
It sounds like that's a Navy. What do 2 whistles mean in the Navy?
It's my ringtone for people who don't have specified ringtones. That one's a spam risk. I forgot. I did it again. I forgot to turn on my where it rolls over. Okay, Stone Vet. I don't know his opinion of the flag, of the blue line flag, but his last.
Stone Vet will blurt out any opinion that he has. Like the guy has no filter. That's what's great about watching him, is like you can watch his reactions, and it's so fucking hilarious. And then he won't even realize what he says until he goes back and listens to it, and then he's like, fuck. And then it's like, now we got to double down on this personality here. So then he's extra fucked.
I I do that myself. In fact, we've all witnessed, and he got cops to it. There's a Jammin' Jet who's a
Jam and Jet,
regular,
yeah.
and when she pops up, he says, "Then Joan Jet," and he's like, "I didn't call you Joan," and then he goes back and says, "Yeah, I called you Joan."
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I do
I
that all the
mean,
time.
Stone Vet is kind of new, I guess, at YouTube, from my understanding,
Uh-huh.
and I guess I think he's going through what anybody that puts themselves out there online goes through. You kind of have a growth process with yourself, or that I think you're supposed to have a growth process with yourself, and you learn all these weird things about yourself, your idiosyncrasies. You learn, some of the things that you might say. For example, I say "so" quite a bit, so often that it's obnoxious now. I can't stop myself from saying "so" unless I consciously bring it into the forefront, right?
Right.
But it's amazing to me, the projection, the psychological projection, and all of the shit that goes on YouTube. It's a fascinating experiment, and I'm not commenting one way or the other, like making a judgment on somebody. I'm saying I'm starting to learn myself really, really well. And when I learn myself really, really well, I start to understand what these fucks are up to.
Right.
You know, you know what I was just thinking about with the flag deal.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if this makes sense or not, but I was thinking about like how people get so upset about like a rainbow flag
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and they think that's terrible. And really, like a rainbow flag is people saying, hey, we're proud of who we are and we just want to be treated like everybody else. But to me, this flag is saying, yeah, we're proud of who we are, but we don't want to have anything to do with you people. You
Yeah,
know,
it says we have your back no matter what you did wrong.
and it is divisive, like people have said it. You know what I mean? It's like I
Yeah.
don't know. I often think people get upset about the wrong stuff.
Well, that's true. Let's face it. If it's on YouTube and we've never met the person doesn't live anywhere near us, and they don't do anything that directly affects our income, our religious beliefs. If they just opine, whether they're picking on somebody or sharing their music or whatever, we choose to be offended. Offenses. I mean, yeah, if they come into my house and punch me in the face, that's not really a choice. I'm going to be offended. But everything about the guy that Stone Vet is sniping here offends me. I choose it. Uh, do I know Lance? Did I ever know Lance Corporal Cameron? No. But the idea of murdering a veteran offends me. The idea of stealing valor offends me on various levels. There's all kinds of stolen valor. Even people in the ranks steal valor to a point, or should I say, embellish their stories.
Well,
Um,
you would think. Let
but
me let me throw out a quick hypothesis there. You would think if Wrangler, right, if he was buddies with his friend that ended up dead, where he's the sole suspect in a murder investigation,
okay, so
if that was truly his friend, right, you think he would be setting up some sort of thing like, hey, every dollar raised for every 100 is going to go to my buddy to try to get him justice, because we still haven't located his killer.
that's a very good point. Even OJ tried to play that off. I'm going to look for what's her name's real killer.
Yeah, yeah. You
He
would think he would have
Wrangler,
a cause to get behind. He's
yeah,
supporting veterans. He'd support because his buddy Donald Cameron was a veteran. He'd be supporting veterans. He'd be doing good for the community. It wouldn't be grifting. It would actually be going to a good cause. These folks have so much potential to use their shit for good, and they don't.
yeah. But back to the flag. I don't know Stone Vet's opinion of altering flags like this, but for this guy's use of the flag in the background, Stone Vet has been hot on that. He's been like,
Offer Stone Vet $100, and he'll back whatever position you want. If you just offer him $100, that's all you got to do.
I offered him $5 just to fast forward to the point where Friday Wrangler got all pissed off and kind of sort of threatened somebody, and
Offer him $1,000. For $1,000, he'd sell his soul for $1,000.
I think the highest I've gone on a sticky is 100. I don't think I'd go 1,000.
Oh, do you know how much? Do you know how much folks get offered just to come up to debate me and like some other folks that have a higher profile name? Artie was offered $5,000. Rumor has it. Okay, this is a rumor because I haven't confirmed it. Artie was offered $5,000 to come up and debate me one day, which I found kind of odd. But
Yeah.
now that I have the benefit of hindsight, there was one day Artie was just begging to join my stream, and Artie had never done that, right? Me and Artie have known each other for 2-3 years. Artie's
Mhm.
Corporate Fiction, the attorney guy. And I'd never known the guy, right? Never known him except for a couple interviews we did. And then one day he's just begging to get on my panel. Then I find out the dude was offered $5,000 to come debate me, quote unquote, debate me. Like,
Okay.
so I'm just telling you that the motive behind all these folks is going to be money. Like, you just look for the money, you'll figure out what these guys are up to.
A lot of the guys that this guy Kaiser goes after, and one of his offspring, Heir of Transparency, a lot of them are not monetized, yet he calls them grifter and all that. But I want to point something out, and this is a fair point. If this is real, Master Sergeant, you can come up. I just don't want to interrupt your show. Your show has priority. He says, so I guess the IR flag I wore on my uniform in combat is a defacement as well perpetrated by the U.S. Army. That's a good point. He's talking about a lot of times when U.S. forces deploy, now when I deployed to Macedonia, it was a full colored flag, but a lot of them for tactical purposes are subdued. Technically, we're defacing the flag, or technically, I don't. That's a good point. That's a fair point, Mr.
I think it comes back to a more fundamental level, which is maybe all of this is somewhat silly in the first place. Why are we pledging allegiance to a flag? Why are we looking at a symbol to, get us all riled up and fighting? Symbols are naturally divisive, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I find this disappointing. I love this show. No show today. Would you like to join us, Master?
Well, I'm up here, so I highly doubt Master Sergeant's going to come up if I'm up here. I'm kind of known as like the kryptonite to cops and that sort of community. But Master Sergeant's welcome. I mean, if I'm up here, I think he's an RA guy from what I can tell from his comments.
Now, I don't know you from Adam, but from what I've observed, if Master Sergeant doesn't come on, it's not because of you. I'm just going to put it out there. Now, Master Sergeant is a retired MP, which is a form of police. And again, not all police are bad. In fact,
I got nothing against. Yeah, I got nothing against Master Sergeant retired. He actually made a comment that he's against Brady-less cops. So if he's at that fundamental level, where that we can work, I can work with you if you're at that fundamental level. If you're against lying and manipulation, then hey, I can work with that.
And he is. I don't know if you follow his channel. He's very this guy in the middle of the screen there. This guy, you know who Michael Kaiser is.
Yeah. I mean, he was definitely. Well, Michael Kaiser. Let me just tell you, my sister helped build Michael Kaiser's channel. Right. Michael Kaiser has personally stated on a live stream that he's called CPS on me when he learned that my son was coming to visit with me for a night. This guy, Michael Kaiser, is just a real. He's basically a government informant on steroids, right? And so, yeah, I appreciate what Master Sergeant did about bringing that sort of stuff to light. He kind of piggybacked off Welsh caught Wrangler popping up on a screen. As you can tell, I'm pretty well versed in this sort of stuff.
Okay, so I don't have to circle this guy and say this guy anymore. You know who I'm talking about if I say Kaiser or Dick Smack or
Wrangler. Yes, that's fake Becker.
I didn't realize you had that close of a connection. Your sister helped him build his site?
Oh, my sister, if you leave it up to my sister, she will take full credit for helping him build his channel. Yeah. But that was back when he was accepted into the anti-auditor, frauditor community. So, but now that he's been exposed for the piece of scum that he is, my sister has now distanced herself from him. And my sister has now been like, oh, I want nothing to do with that. Even though she was on live stream after live stream supporting him, saying she was building a channel with him. So to me, it's all very bizarre. This whole YouTube experience has been very bizarre. I saw you on here. I just chose to come up because I was like, cool, this looks like maybe a panel of some folks that maybe I'm interested in chatting with. And then you were talking about Kaiser and Stone Vet and a few of the areas that I have a little bit of knowledge about.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. My intention was as soon as I got off work, I was going to boot up and talk trash about Kaiser and Heir of Transparency and see if anybody had any updates on either the Meade County thing or the Kaiser thing, because I've heard Kaiser's been slapped on the wrist and put on a 7-day timeout. Welcome, Master Sergeant. Everyone at parade rest.
Yeah, carry on.
How you doing?
Not good. That's why I had to cancel today, and I'm probably not going to be here very long.
Okay.
I strained my back shoveling snow.
Ooh,
So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you watch West Wing, take President Bartlett's advice. Don't take both the Percocet and the other one.
oh, they won't even give you a Percocet if you're missing a limb anymore. So
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm just taking some Motrin and just trying to stay on the heating pad a little bit. I think it's just a muscle pull, and I should be fine in a couple of days.
Okay. Thank you for opining on the flags we wore on our uniforms at various times. That's a very fair point. I didn't even think about that as I'm getting all judgmental about other alterations of the American flag. That's
So
yeah.
a lot of people tend to get a little confused with defacing the flag. Defacing the flag is when you deface an actual red, white, and blue American flag by adding something to it or changing that. And I really don't think that all of these tribute flags. I mean, even though I'm currently a Leo, I don't have any blue line shit. I don't believe in that, and I don't think it's necessary. But and that's why that's why people can sell it. I mean, it's their First Amendment right to actually do that. If they want to make something that expresses something, well, so be it.
Okay. That
Did
makes
I just stump everybody or what?
yes. You
Is
changed
everybody
my
saying,
whole.
who the fuck is this guy?
You changed my whole course of thought on LGBTQ flags with the blue field, the law enforcement flag with the blue field. I'm going to have to reconsider my position on it. I still
I
believe.
totally missed what was said. I totally missed it.
Oh,
Sorry to make you guys go back. I dropped out. If I drop out for any reason, my phone battery is really low. But MSG, I appreciate being on a panel with you. How's it going? I don't think we've met, but
well, while you're away, I think while you're away, if I remember it in order right, Master Sergeant was explaining to us, and I agree with his point of view here, that we're not really defacing the American flag unless it's an actual American flag that we are defacing it. And I have to step back and think about it. And one comparison is the use of either full-colored flags or subdued flags on our uniforms. I can't remember, was it Macedonia or Bosnia? Bosnia was a NATO thing, and Macedonia was a UN thing. And both of them had the full-colored red, white, and blue flag on our shoulder. One had the blue field on the left, and the other one had the blue field on the right. And we used to debate all the time if that was accurate or not. I'm thinking, what does that matter? Because if you see a flag on a flagpole in the full breeze, whether it's on the left side or the right side, depends on which side of the flagpole you're standing. So that was a silly argument.
Yeah, and so we wear the American flag on the right sleeve on a uniform with the blue field facing forward because we never retreat, and that's the reason. That's the reason it's like that. Because I've had people come up to me back when we used to wear the bright colored American flag on our BDUs, and people would say, "No, that flag's not being worn properly." I said, "Well, it's being worn properly enough for me because that's how the United States Army does it. We attack, we don't retreat."
That's a good way. I've never heard that. That's a good one. Okay, we're moving forward. We're advancing. Follow me.
Well,
so would you mind? Master Sergeant wasn't here, I guess, when I started asking about the flag. But as a veteran Master Sergeant, what would you think about the avatar that you see me display? I don't know if you were here for it, but the tattered blue line flag that looks like a healthy blue line flag over a tattered, limp American flag that's smaller. Would you mind sharing your thoughts on that?
Actually, it's too small for me to even see, and yeah.
Well, now that I described it, how would you feel if it was
if
a
they've
full?
got a tattered U.S. flag below it, then yeah, that's not right. They're not
What
displaying
would you
the
say?
flag correctly.
What would you say to the individual that posted or that displayed that. It was out at a boat launch. They just had it propped up there by a lake. What would you say to that individual?
Let's say you should probably learn how to fly the American flag.
I would agree. I would agree. Now what do you think about a Facebook post that was trying to locate that individual to have that conversation with them that kept getting taken down? What are your thoughts? Why do you think Facebook would not allow? And all I did was share this picture with thoughts, question mark. Facebook took it down
I
within
have no idea what Zuckerberg does.
Okay,
They work in
fair enough.
mysterious ways.
Fair enough. Do you think that's an attack on free speech? A legit attack on free speech?
I think it's probably they can pretty much freaking do what they want because it's their service and you're subscribed to it. So
Agreed.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I look at things in a I don't know. I look at things and I think to myself, does this make sense or not?
Yeah. Well,
that's that's how I kind of go through life, and it's got me as far as it has. So,
in my opinion, freedom of speech, First Amendment, applies to Congress making no law. Congress doesn't govern YouTube or Facebook. The other night, I was in a chat like this where my pointer is, and I made a comment, and the host said something about, this is First Amendment, right? And I'm like, no, actually, it's not. This or something like it on Facebook is something that the host has purchased. I know for me, it costs $220 for this 1-year subscription. I own that. That's not public. So whatever I say goes. Now, I personally don't care. Others do, and it's their right to ban me, bar me, exclude me from their paid for service. And so does Zuckerberg and I don't know, whoever owns YouTube.
Yeah, it's. I mean, how many of you have actually sat down and gone through the mega pages, terms of use, and privacy?
Yeah, nobody does that shit, right?
No,
so my point is, MSG.
Click.
Yeah. My point, MSG. Would you let's say the person that flew these flags out by my lake, right? Talking about that individual, would you want any sort of criminal penalty coming down from them? Let's just set aside the fact that whether it's illegal or not, or whether there's crimes or actually committed with displaying flags improperly. Would you want criminal charges to be levied against that person?
I don't know what criminal charges would be levied against them.
Yeah,
violating flag code. Well, I had somebody in the Facebook post say, you should contact the local authorities, right? That's where I was going.
And I can tell you exactly. I can tell you exactly what the local authorities are going to do. They're going to come out and say, "Yep, the guy's flying the flag wrong. Have a nice day."
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I guess my point to bringing up that question with you is, don't you think that's a little silly that folks nowadays are willing to report and call quote unquote authorities for just about anything? Isn't that bogging down the system?
Yes. And just so you know, I am currently a law enforcement officer.
I understand.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard. Trust me, I have my ear to the ground.
But I'm kind of a weird breed because I think a lot of it has to do with my military background and the 30 plus years I spent in the military. And I was a military policeman for a lot of it. And everything there was black and white as far as the Uniform Code of Military Justice or any of the state laws that we had to enforce while on a military installation. But I'll tell you, it was a big culture shock coming into the civilian law enforcement world with the how much latitude you have with officer discretion as far as things go.
Yeah, and you could literally let everybody off with a warning, basically your entire shift and say, don't let me see you do this again.
I haven't written I'm telling on myself. You would probably rather get a ticket from me than have to listen to my educational speech I'm going to give you for what you did wrong while you were driving.
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
That's a good
I
point.
believe in education. I don't believe in monetary punishments, because not only and I'm in Massachusetts, so not only do you get points on your license, blah blah blah, but your insurance is going to go up
The
for the next
ongoing,
7
yeah,
years.
the ongoing
Do
accruing
I want
cost.
to? Do
Yeah.
I really want to screw somebody for the next 7 years? No, I don't.
See, but how many of your colleagues, Master Sergeant, how many of your colleagues can't wrap their head around that idea? How many of them can't put themselves in the other person's shoes?
I would
I'm sorry,
I
that's a
would
weird
say
question.
I'm on a very small department, and I think we are all. I mean, they're not all like me, that's for sure. But I think for the most part, they are extremely fair and very appropriate with what they do as far as their officer discretion and how they conduct themselves.
Would you say auditing or cop watching has contributed to or helped them be better cops? I mean, well, first I'd have to find out if they watch. I mean, obviously, I don't have to ask you because you obviously watch this stuff by proxy to Wrangler and all them assholes. But do any of these guys watch cop watching? I guess would be the first question.
Uh,
I don't know if I mean, I don't go out of my way to watch them.
Has it helped you by seeing how different officers react to a camera? Has it helped you at all
I have
internally?
I have seen some where I just shake my head when I see the way the officer reacts to it. It
Have you
is
ever
some
seen Morabito?
who?
Have you ever seen Morabito?
No, don't know who that
Okay.
is.
Okay, you might want to check on one of my last live streams. I won't ambush you with questions, and I don't mean to hijack this panel by any
Well, yeah,
means.
it's too late.
It's too late. Well, I'm saying I'm going to drop down because my battery is low, but I do have this restreaming on my channel, so hopefully this is a fantastic conversation. But
okay.
hopefully we can continue it when I have better battery life. How about that?
What I'm about to say, I'm not saying behind your back. It's only behind your back because you're about to drop if you don't hear it. But perceptions of law enforcement are often skewed by what we see on YouTube or on the news. To ask Master Sergeant how many of his colleagues feel a certain way, I find that to be a bit of a nonsensical question because how many law enforcement officers are out there? And they're human beings. They all have different ways of seeing things, feeling things, perceiving things. And we may see a YouTube channel of a bunch of police officers in LA beating up on Rodney King, and we have a perception that it's not representative of all police, soldiers, civilians. There's no way to categorize an entire group to believe and feel and react the same way, and there's no way Master Sergeant could know what the next guy's. I just this
You're
morning
right.
before I logged off, we had a after our handoff from one shift to the other. Somehow people started talking about disposing of American flags, and there were a lot of opinions that I had no idea that I worked with every day. And for someone to expect you to know how others in your profession feel or think or behave is just what I think the question was how many of. I'm like, how are you supposed to know the number? I don't know.
You know, I was thinking, going back a bit, the whole thing about arresting people for flag desecration and whatever. And it's something Sarge touched on earlier is it kind of comes back to I disagree with what you say, but I'll defend with my life your right to say it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was about to say dig a hasty muck. You just called a Master Sergeant Sarge.
Was that
No,
bad?
that's all right. I'm fine with that.
I'm being playful.
I,
You did.
I'm not good at a lot of syllables. I like to.
It's fine. I'm playing. Most of the time I'm playing when I say stuff like that.
You can say, hey, you, hey, shithead, whatever you want. I answer to anything.
Shithead, that's my name.
I would never.
But Master, a little while ago you referenced how many of us actually read all the community guidelines of terms of service, etc. That made me think of a situation that's going on right now. This guy here, whose YouTube site I'm looking at, he seems to profess a lot to be some kind of expert on YouTube community guidelines and terms of service. Just want to point out, rumor has it, and current activity seems to verify it, that he's on some kind of 7-day timeout for being a naughty YouTube boy. Does anyone have any?
Isn't that a shame?
If he's an expert on the rules, how is it that he's on a?
He's an expert on everything he's never done. So,
Oh, very good point. Very, very good point. And I forgot his name already. Broken System, Broken Trust? The guy who just left.
Yeah.
He made a reference to his sister helping Kaiser build this site. I don't know, but it kind of had a memory. My sweetie has a different social circle than I do, and there's a politician. You may have heard him. His name is Donald Trump. Before he was a politician, when he was just a businessman, a book was put out. What was it called? What was that book? My sweetie's going to kick my ass. Can anyone name any famous books with Donald Trump's name on it? The Art of the Deal. The Art of the Deal. That's it.
You're thinking that I actually read books.
That's a good point. There's a book out there called The Art of the Deal, and it's accredited to being written by Donald Trump. But it's and nothing unusual about this. He didn't actually write it. A hired writer was hired to write it, and all the texts in it are his. Although it's approved by the person of the autobiography. I had never heard of the name before. I wasn't even conscious of it as all this news is. But it turns out my sweetie is close friends with that guy's sister, and that guy's sister is very anti-Trump, as I am. But I'm trying not to go there with this. But she's always telling my sweetie how disappointed that author is for having done that with Trump. I'm not saying take a side on that. It's just interesting how people help people do stuff and then come later to regret it. If I had helped Fraud Wrangler build his site, I'd definitely regret it. Bandit has a question. I'm sorry. I'm really horrible about watching the chat, and I want to apologize to Master when I was a guest on there. I was staring at the chat when he was talking to me. I'm like, huh? Oh, me? What's your question, Bandit? And I can't promise an accurate answer. Is he still there?
Well, don't forget there's like a 2-minute delay. When you
there is
say it here, they don't hear it there for
okay.
another minute or two.
I'm very honored. I have a very low viewed channel. I'm very amateur. I'm way below the calibers of Master Sergeant Shiz, Wally. What's another one? There's some really good people on YouTube who really know what they're doing, and I'm not one of them. But today I am graced with the presence of Master Sergeant, and the other night I was graced with the presence of Shiz. I'm just like, wow, I should have monetized.
Well, I mean, when you offered for me to come up, I almost felt obligated since you were on one of my shows.
Oh.
So, but
I
yeah,
left the military as a buck sergeant. There's no way I can obligate you to anything.
Well, like I said, I try and support as many veterans as I can, and of all viewpoints.
Okay,
I mean, even though I disagree with Georgia Transparency, I don't particularly get into the whole auditing, anti-auditing, all of that horse shit. But I do support him as a person, and he's really a nice guy. Away from what he does on YouTube. I mean, do I agree with it? No, but
I haven't really followed. The only thing I've seen about him is what Fraud Wrangler tries to tear up, and
well, that yeah, he's got the military career Wrangler wishes he had.
Yeah. Oh, right. Someone compared the stories of Wrangler to the reality of, is it Georgia Transparency? Yeah. They're very
I mean, they
similar.
they they tore apart his civilian resume, and as you well know, if you try and take military stuff and convert it over to something that a civilian would understand or recognize, it's not the same. And he was calling bullshit on a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, no, that makes perfect sense.
I don't know how to answer this because I don't know the person. Bandit 2804, what is Master Sergeant Dave Finkel's take on Colonel Douglas McGregor? He comes across as a trader, a person who trades like on Wall Street. Or are you talking about traitor? I'm not sure. But Holly,
I don't
I have no idea. I can't really give an opinion on this because I have no idea.
don't know who he is.
Yeah,
So
I plead ignorance, which is very easy for me to plead. I'm very ignorant.
Isn't isn't that the Highlander guy? Wasn't his name McGregor?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, he'll live forever.
okay. Oh yeah. Who wants to live forever?
Isn't that the song?
Yeah. Who wants? That's
That's right.
the
Okay.
that's about all I really remember. That in people's heads.
Only one will survive.
Yeah. Which I on that I wonder if that's what got Fraud at Wrangler spanked. Was I didn't really take it as a threat, and neither did Tats is the guy's name.
Yeah.
Fraud at Wrangler leaned into his camera the other night and talked about if anything happens to my wife or mom, I'm coming to Utah and I'm going to have your head on a pike or something like that. And I took it as an attempt to be threatening, but I didn't take it as a threat. And I don't think Tats took it as a threat too. Apparently, Tats isn't even in Utah. But I
Wish
took
it,
it as an if statement. Go
I
ahead.
wish it threatened me like that. I'd send him my address.
Well,
Come on by.
you got a career in law enforcement. Would that be considered a threat, or would that be considered a braggadocious claim that I
So,
will
in
protect
order
home?
for a threat to be, uh, and we deal with this all the freaking time. People, this guy threatened me on Facebook. There has to be some credibility to that threat being carried out.
Ah, okay.
Um, you know, some freaking guy in Norway said he was going to come cut my head off. Yeah. Okay.
I
Have a
can
nice
imagine.
day.
I can imagine the quickening if that happens. That'd be a
Yeah.
hell of a quickening.
Why are you wasting my time? We get it all the time. More people come in and complain. Oh, this guy's calling me an asshole on Facebook. Blah blah blah. Okay, so get off Facebook. This guy keeps calling me on the phone. Well, block his number. Well, then he gets another number. Well, block that one. Do what I do. I've got RoboKiller on my iPhone and it works fantastic.
I keep forgetting to use it, but I got that feature where if I don't know the number that's calling, it rolls right over to voicemail. It's silent unknown
Oh,
callers.
mine actually, that RoboKiller is great. I pay for the service.
Oh,
And if I get a spam call where they're trying to get me for something, it's got actual robots that will talk to them. They're pre-recorded. It'll be like, hello? And then they'll wait a little bit. I wasn't expecting a call today, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, my wife's about ready to give birth, and you hear all this noise in the back. It's hilarious, some of them.
yeah. Oh, people are very colorful when they get all irritated and annoyed. And
Yeah, I started playing with the telemarketers that call. Every question they ask, I say, okay. They get them quite a bit of the way into their script before they figure it out. You're just playing with them.
they're getting better at recognizing that I'm messing with them because they're hanging up faster. And I only get them when recently I came off of an on-call rotation. When I'm on call, I don't use that feature because I have to take. There's 4,000 people in my company. I have no idea all their phone numbers, so I have to be available to take pages and calls. But when I come off, sometimes I forget to turn that feature off, and I get a telemarketer, and I love to mess with them. They're getting better at realizing that I'm messing with them and just hanging up, because they're trying to call as many people as they can to get as many whatever it is they're pushing. And if I'm wasting their time, they're realizing, oh, I'm going to lose time and money on this guy, so they move on.
I think my record, I kept a credit card guy on the phone for a half an hour one time, asking him all kind of questions, until finally I got to the end and I said, "Oh, what color card is it?" And he says, "Well, it's our gold card, sir." And I said, "No, but I mean, what is the actual color of the card?" He goes, I think it's green." And I said, "Ah, that would clash with my wallet," and hung up on him.
That's
I-
great.
I'll tell you one other I always liked. I was at a friend's house. And heck, the friend was actually literally old enough to be my father, because I graduated with his son. But anyway, it was one of those deals where I was like, part of the family. So I went in. We were out back barbecue, and I went in to get a couple more beers. And the phone rang while I was inside, and the guy, I picked it up, and the guy was calling. I don't know, are they a national company or are they just regional? Miracle Ear, the hearing aid people. But anyway, the guy said, "I'm calling from Miracle Ear," and I said, "Who?" He said, "Miracle Ear," and I said, "Miracle Whip?" He said, "No, sir, Miracle Ear," and I said, "Who the hell sells mayonnaise over the phone?" And I let this go on for a couple minutes. He's going, Miracle Ear, sir." And finally I said, "Oh, the hearing aid people." He says, "Yes." And I said, "Nobody here needs one of those." But yeah, I always figure if you're going to take up my time, I'm going to cost you some money, because, they get paid by the sale, not by the hour.
Yeah.
Ah.
One
I love
thing I
it.
had.
I love it when the IRS calls me and tells me they have a warrant for my arrest.
I
I keep them on the line as long as they called me at work one day on my cell phone, and I just put it on speaker, and we had it in the squad room. We were all having fun.
I thought a chief of police do that one time, and the video's a couple years old now, but it was one of those kind of calls, and
Yep.
she was there, had him on the speakerphone. And
I had him on speaker. I was like, "So which one of you guys is going to put the cuffs on me?" And we were going, and the guy didn't realize what was going
Yeah.
on. I should have. There's a lot of stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff I'd love to videotape from work, but
a friend of mine had gotten bitten by that IRS scam. That's the one where they get you to go to a Target or Walmart and buy a gift card, and that's how you're going to pay them off so you don't get arrested. And it was very recent after that I got a call, so I decided to play with them, and I pretended like I was getting in, because they were telling me, go to a Target and buy this card. I'm like, "Oh yeah, anything I can do to avoid arrest." I'm playing along, so I'm playing. "Okay, hold on, I'm getting into my car. I'm going to put you on mute for a minute." I kept him on for about 40 minutes. And he says, and finally he got to the point where, "Okay, where are you at now?" And I said, "Well, I'm at the Fairfax County Police Station at Fort Mount Vernon." Click. I got 40 minutes out of him.
But the thing, and we get a lot of people that get scammed, and they come to us. I mean, yeah, I could do a report, but I have got no way to do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Isn't it? It's sad how many people fall, especially, when is a government agency going to tell you, "Oh yeah, go get us a bunch of Target gift cards or something"?
Yeah.
But people fall for it, and usually,
Well, the
thing
IRS
that-
wanted those. The IRS wants those cards for their Christmas party. They're going to use them as gifts.
But,
Now, I get it. They're targeting senior citizens who aren't tech savvy, but my buddy, and I'm sorry, buddy, if you're watching, you're tech savvy. You know better. You fell for it. Sorry, but that's on you, man. But I do despise that people are out there trying to do that. They're doing it because they're getting away with it enough that it's profitable for them. And I'm like, who are they getting besides my buddy? They're getting, people just don't have the resources to
Yeah,
realize.
that's the worst part.
There's a few sites out there I'll watch, Scam Baiter and a couple of other ones where they actually go after them, pinpoint them, and 90% of them are coming out of India.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I've watched a lot of the videos. The one with pierogi.
Yeah,
forget-
Pierogi, the kid with the blue hair.
Yeah, I love
He,
those.
Oh,
He's got a whole call center set up just to battle those guys.
is it this guy?
No,
No.
it's a different one. I forget what his scam. It's something else. Scam something.
Scammer Revenge or
Mm.
Scammer payback.
Yeah, yep.
Scammer
that's it.
Payback.
Oh,
I think that's
I
it.
typed horribly. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that's him.
Yep.
I'm doing it again. I'm going to subscribe it and tell myself I'm going to watch them later, and then I forget to watch. I'm getting way too long of a.
I
way
always
too
sit
long.
there. I always sit there wishing I could do that. That I had the knowledge to turn that back on them like that.
Oh yeah, it's fun, but it would be time consuming. Wait a
I
minute.
mean, they've actually facilitated police raids in India and had some of these people arrested. They have really done some great work, and he's got a whole crew that works with him now.
Yeah.
Did you see a little while ago when he did the one where they got like 100 people all at once together, and set up a big call center?
Yep, I
Yeah.
saw that one.
Something I've noticed with those is
All
it's
right.
funny.
I'm going to have to get off that, and that's the reason I'm not doing my show today is because I can't sit in this chair very long. And
I'm sorry about that, but thank you for coming down into the slums.
hey, there's Tats. What's
In
up,
the
Tats?
slums. How you doing, gentlemen? How's every little thing?
Gentlemen.
Broken. That's why I'm
Broken?
getting off.
Everything's
Yeah, I pull my back shoveling snow. That's why I'm not even doing my show today.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, I can't sit in this chair very long. I got to go get in the recliner with the heating pad.
You know, you need to come down to my neck of the woods, home of the nearly wed and the newly dead, or actually the newlywed and the nearly dead, I should say.
Oh, isn't that
And-
Q-Tip Central?
Yeah, come on down, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, come on down, man. Boca Raton is booming. You know.
All right. Well, you
I don't
guys have a
expect
great day. Thanks for having me on, David. I
Oh
appreciate
shit!
it.
I scared MSG retired away, man.
I doubt that.
I'm gonna go take another dose of Motrin and
Okay.
chill.
Drink more water. Drink water and change your socks, Master Sergeant.
Yeah,
Thanks
walk
for
it
add-
off.
Thanks for adding some sanity to the discussion.
All right. Take care, guys.
Tats, I have to warn you. My IP catcher has traced you to a data center in Utah. I know exactly where you are.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I just learned about what swatting was just the other day. I didn't even know what the hell that was. Kaiser educated me on something really strange. Like somebody calls the police on someone, and then the SWAT team comes to your house. Is that what that is?
Well, SWAT team or any police who may overreact and hurt the wrong people.
That is absolutely crazy.
I
I would never ever even think about doing anything like that to anyone.
Right. I only
There
heard-
have
Or
been
someone-
there
Go
have been people who got shot because of it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
Yeah, that's
in
ridiculous.
Wichita a few years back.
Yeah,
So-
I would never even think. I didn't even know what that was until the other day when somebody said you were accused of swatting Kaiser's house, and I was like, what the hell's that? Did I hit his house? What did I do? I swatted
Oh.
his house?
That's right. I
Had-
remember now that they were saying you did it. Yeah.
Yeah. I did
Or
a lot
he
of
was.
things.
I'm sorry, there was
Good.
a thing. Did Tats just get cut off?
Yeah, I my VPN just updated for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, it does that from time to time.
I forget which one's which. I have Nordstream and I have the one offered by McAfee. And I
use McAfee.
Yeah.
I have
Well, I'm
no
random
idea.
about the one I use, but one of them does that. it disconnects you temporarily while it moves to another data center, and in the middle,
Yeah.
whoa, it's got my real IP address. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah. It's weird. Well, that could have been my fault because I did switch it the other day from Canada. I got tired of living in Canada. Now
Too
I
cold.
think I'm probably back in Utah. Yeah, I'm probably back
Yeah.
in Utah again.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm a proud Floridian, man. I lived here all of my life. I live right on the Santa Fe River, a beautiful river. We have a lot of natural springs, a lot of good scuba diving, a lot of good kayaking. One of the few rivers in Florida that even has something that resembles rapids. So yeah, we have. I mean,
Okay.
I live on a beautiful area, and no, I don't think that I would want to move to Utah. It's too cold up there for me.
Well, Tats, I'm glad you joined because part of the drama I'm trying to catch up on is the other day I was on your show, and
Right.
because Vegas had pointed out to me that Fraud Wrangler made a kind of a lame threat ultimatum: if anything happens to my wife or mother, I'm going to put your head on a pike. Or well, you're
Yeah.
familiar with it.
Well, you're welcome to come and put my head on a pike, but I will say that I mean, I don't usually put my 50 round drum on it, but I do have a 50 round drum for my Mac 11, and I would love to test that out on Kaiser's head if he comes across my property unannounced.
Well, we've noticed that Kaiser's no longer posting.
I've heard
And
that. I heard that rumor.
I can't independently verify, but I'm told that it's because he's been a naughty boy. And I was wondering, well, don't tell us. if you
No,
had something-
I will tell you unequivocally, it was not me.
okay.
I don't see. A lot of people accuse me of all kinds of crazy shit. Like, I don't even understand why. I don't think. To me, I'm just minding my own business, making little critique videos about other videos and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, I've become this crazy ass secret squirrel bandit dude that does all of this amazing shit that I don't even know how to do. Yeah, I'm pretty simple. I'm pretty straightforward. I tell you exactly. I wear my heart on my sleeve in case you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm like. I don't know why people perceive me to be like this.
Maybe that scary avatar, that glow
It
in
could
the
be.
dark.
It
That's
could be.
scary.
And by the way, I always tell people Canva. Stonevet was remarking he goes, well, I don't know how he put that hat up there to bring it out in 3D. What I did is I just clipped a picture of that same hat online, got rid of the background using Canva, and just copied and pasted it right there on the screen. That's all I did.
Well, a little while ago before you came on, we learned that a lot of the creation of Fraud Wrangler's page was assisted by somebody else who probably now regrets it.
Right. No, they do. Dickbag Patrol, I believe, did most of it or a lot of it.
I give a lot of folks credit for being so much better at this than I am. Shiz, Master Sergeant, Stone Vet, Wally, you now. But the truth is, I do all of my own work. Part of the icon behind me that was stolen from whoever Kaiser stole it from.
Right. Well, what do you do there? What did you do there? Just copied and pasted it, or?
Yeah, it took his icon. Well, first I using Chrome, I right clicked on it and searched the internet for it to make sure it wasn't copyrighted out there somewhere. And it doesn't appear to be. So I took that and then I created my own Corporal Captain Finkel hat.
Yeah, no, I hooked Nightmare Audits onto Canva because he wanted me to make him a intro, and I used to do that. I used to actually charge people for the intros that I'd make them, or I would charge them for a new avatar or whatever they wanted. And it turned out that it just became more of a headache than it really was worth. So if you want a new avatar, so I won't charge anybody for anything. I will do. I can make just about anything. But what I tell people, just like I told Nightmare Audits, skip me. Just go get Canva, Canva. It's $12 a month, and you will have almost unlimited access to as much like raw footage, photos, There's even an app in that, and I even spent some time showing them how to use it. There's even an app where you can actually type in something that you want. Like I can say, I want a buffalo that looks like a chicken with peacock feathers, and it'll draw that for me.
Sounds expensive. I have seen some people on live streams, guests and hosts alike, that they're right now. You see me and you see Muckster, but you
Right.
see a cartoon image of them, and the mouth movements actually follow what they're saying, or
Right.
they turn left or turn right. I'm like, I want to know how to do that because I'm tired of people seeing my real ugly face.
Right. I don't know how to do that. I think that it is like everything. It's an app, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know.
This guy, am I pointing the right? Yeah, I'm pointing the right way.
Yeah.
Muckster meet Tats, Tats meet Muckster.
Hey, Muckster, how are you?
My sweetie works with the ad agencies, if you will. I don't know how to say it without directly pointing her out.
Sure.
That they support or encourage fishing and boating.
Oh, okay.
I might have just given it away there.
Yeah,
And
right.
Muckster said something in her defense the other day that went over my head until I watched it back. Kaiser said something about putting your head on a pike.
Right.
And while I was rambling on and thinking about other things, Muckster said, "Why a pike? Why not a trout or a bass?"
Yeah, that went over
That's awesome.
everybody's head at the time.
That is phenomenal. By the way, I do have some affiliation with that. I was a national boating safety instructor at one point. So yeah, boat handling, boat safety, that type of thing. And I was actually one of the very first, the one who wrote that curriculum. Oh shit! Now, as soon as I say his name, Wayne Mitchell was his name. A very smart guy, was actually the head safety engineer for the Walt Disney World Corporation, and I was one of his very, very first instructors for that course, which became a national course. And yeah, boating and all that's right up my alley.
Cool. If you buy a boating license or a fishing license, a fraction of that goes to the state, and a fraction of that goes to something else, and a fraction of a eventually a tiny little fraction goes to my sweetie's salary. So I want to thank anyone who buys a fishing license or a boating license. And there must be a lot of you out there because she makes more money than me.
Yeah, well, I don't know anymore. I don't teach the class anymore. I taught it for about, I'd say about 10 years. And very, very good course. And it used to be free to just go on. I think it was called boat.us. .com and or usboat.com, and it used to be a free course. You could just go on there, take the test, and then you could get your boating license, and it was a nationally recognized license. But I think now they charge for it.
Boatus,
yeah, that's it.
BOATUS. They have I don't know if it's a headquarters or a branch not far from here, and they do sometimes work with my sweetie's organization.
Yeah,
I'm mad at them. I am mad at them.
Oh,
I'm a major incident manager. And
right.
For the first time in my life that I was ever employed was in 2015. I was 50 years old. Up until that point, I always had a job or overlapping jobs for quite I had two jobs. So at 50 years old, for the first time in my life, I found myself unemployed. So I'm out there on not Munster, on on all the various job sites. Not LinkedIn. I can't think of it now because I've been employed since 2016.
Right.
But when I left my last incident management job, having climbed up help desk, knock manager, help desk manager, and when I finally became an incident manager, when I was laid off, I was making $96,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
When I was looking for work, I applied for a position at Boat US for a knock manager, and they came back with an offer of $15 an hour. I'm like,
no. Yeah,
what the?
that would not
Did
work.
you not read my resume?
Right. No, I mean, I've been unemployed for quite some time now. I was fortunate, and I've told the story before, but I was pretty fortunate in my life. I struck it, not really struck it rich, but I had a fortunate event that happened in my family that really helped me out and helped me retire early. But I'm around your age, I would say.
Okay. I'm 58 point something. I'll be 59 in April.
Well, I'm a little younger then, just a little bit, not too much younger though.
You young pup.
Yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Cool says, "Good morning, gentlemen." Now, I don't know who he's talking to, but wherever the gentlemen are, Joe Cool says, "Good morning."
I've never been accused of that.
It's
That's
rare.
another rumor about me that I'm a gentleman. I'm really not. I mean, I do open I am one of the very few people that I've ever seen. I still open the door to my car to my wife when she's along with me all the time, every single time. So that part makes me a gentleman. Other than that, no. No, that's where I draw the line.
Joe found you by watching Broken's Restream.
Oh, really?
What was that?
Joe Cole, he said he came here because he saw Broken's.
Oh, because that earlier guest said he was using my
Yeah.
stream on his. By the way, anyone's welcome to use anything I put on the interweb. I don't copyright anything. I don't claim anything. But
Do
if
you
you have
do all
anything,
your stuff with Creative Commons is what you do?
I'm sorry.
Because if you change the license of, like, when you're posting your video up, it'll give you a say, do you want to use a standard YouTube license or you want to change it? If it says Creative Commons on there, that means anyone can use any bit of your material at any time. And as a matter of fact, I'm reading a YouTuber's book right now that my son bought me, and that's one of the things they suggest. They go, don't get so caught up in the copyright thing, because the thing is the more people that use your material, they'll come back to you and wonder where the source is. So so if you use Creative Commons, then it's not that yeah, sure, people are going to take your videos and use them however they want because they can, but at the same time, you're getting some more, you know how they say it doesn't matter if it's good or bad publicity as long as they spell your name right. So
well, Finkel's not my real name.
right.
But on that topic, if I can lean over, that image there, I'll admit I stole it from Kaiser.
Yeah, but that image right there is not copyrighted. That is actually a classic image of the old uncle.
Yeah. So I'm happy to steal it. I stole it for the purpose of mocking Kaiser, not Uncle Sam or anybody else who may be using that. Speaking of Kaiser, for those I see, I got a whopping 16 viewers. That's just amazing.
Yeah, let me restream you too, and that way you can get maybe some more over, or maybe get more some of my trolls over here. I don't know. I tend to try to shy away from that because I do have some unsavory people now attached to my channel.
They're out there. They're everywhere. Whether I get 2 viewers or 15 viewers, or I think my best doesn't matter the view counts. That just feeds my ego. I'm not monetized, so I get paid the same at 2 or 1,000. But speaking of copyrights, everyone on the panel already knows this, but I see I got more viewers than I thought. Master Sergeant brought up a question: how many of us really read terms of service, community guidelines, and like what Tass was just referring to, some of the licensing stuff? Here I'm showing the webpage of someone who's very notorious. I was about to say famous, but I think notorious is a better answer. And he seems to self-profess being an expert on YouTube's community guidelines. That being said, he is currently on a 7-day timeout for being a naughty boy. So if any of Kaiser's regulars are watching, you now know why he's not online. Someone alluded to a possible alternate site he has. If anyone knows that, I'd like to know.
I've heard of such a rumor, but I honestly, and I would think that I would be the one to know that, but I don't know what his alternative channel is. I wish I did.
They may mean he's guesting on something like Air of Transparency. By the way, Air, if you're watching, put some bass in your voice.
Right. Yeah. That's unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Yeah. Very, very unfortunate.
I always get behind on the chats, and I keep asking people what do they mean by GTSY, and I just figured it out yesterday. They're saying good to see you. I didn't know if it was
good to see you. Yeah, it took me a while too.
Me too. I just figured that out like 2 days ago. I kept seeing that, and I was thinking, gutsy, what the heck?
We're old guys, man. We're old guys. We don't catch up so quick on shit like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm one of those guys that when I first started on the bulletin boards, that when I'd see LOL, I thought people were going, "Hey, lots of love."
Oh,
right. I was actually reading it LOL. I was like, what the hell's LOL? You know,
3/4 of the current panel the other day tried to do a discussion on West Wing, and YouTube kept copyrighting it and narrowing it down. But we were talking about when we first learned what POTUS was. Because in the first episode, everything was referring to POTUS. And like, it took me a little while to figure out that POTUS was President of the United States.
yeah. Yeah. Actually, I thought about moving my entire platform over to Rumble at one point. Because
Familiar with that one.
you're not. Rumble is a lot. Oh, you are or you're not?
I'm not. I think I've heard of it peripherally, but I no
Rumble
clue.
is kind of the other YouTube, but it is more now. I don't know. You know, I will discuss politics on my channel, but I reserve it away from other people. But I'm a conservative guy, and Rumble is a very conservative platform, and they don't care too much about. They don't do all of these crazy mamby-pamby fact check shit and you know, take you off line just because you say something that runs foul to their own political beliefs. So I kind of like that platform for that reason.
I'm a bleeding heart pinko liberal.
Nothing wrong with that either.
I try to keep my politics out, because when I announce my politics, I lose two kinds of users. One is the kind that's really far right wing conservative, and the other is fellow liberals who just don't want to cover.
Doesn't bother me in the least, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me in the least, because here's the thing. In the end, as long as we're just people and man to man, like we used to do, man. We used to be able to talk about stuff like this without being enemies. And that's the one thing that I wish we can get back to.
Being a West Wing fan, I think Muxter's also a West Wing fan. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was an episode where Leo McGarry's explaining to somebody that once there was a Democrat freshman, first time elected Democrat in the House of Representatives.
Right.
He's getting shown around by a senior Democrat. He says, so when do I get to meet Republicans? I want to face the enemy.
Right.
And the senior Democrat says, the Republicans aren't the enemy. The Senate is the enemy.
Right.
I'm like,
right.
That used to be the case. And now it's all left.
Yeah, no, I was raised by a lifelong Democrat. Both of my parents were Democrats, and really strange. What the hell happened to me, right? But it was really strange. I mean, but it's okay. It's I would say that I'm less of a Republican and more of a conservative. So if that makes any sense, I don't really identify myself as a party. I will vote for the best candidate if they align with what I think. You know what I mean? So, but I don't disparage anybody for who they vote for. If you want to vote for whoever, that's your choice as an American. That's why we served in the military. And that is none of my business, honestly. Now, if we want to talk the finer points of, you know, Joe Biden falling up the stairs instead of down the stairs, we'll joke about that. But other than that, you know, it's fine. The orange guy, big fat dude that, you know, grabs women by the pee, that's another thing. You know, whatever you want to do.
Whatever your political leanings are,
exactly.
You have to admit, falling up the stairs is a defiance of gravity. That is pretty amazing.
I thought it was funny myself. And by the way, I've met mostly, actually, let's see, two, not really met, like I didn't like hobnob with them, but I've met Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and I shook the hand of Jimmy Carter when I was very, very young. And then George W. He's shorter than I thought he was. And,
that was a good voice.
Yeah, George W. He looked at me straight in the eye. He just and Bill Clinton was taller than I thought he would be. And then Jimmy Carter had this. I was only like 5 or 6. I can't remember. He was running against Reagan at the time, and he came to a local town close by to where I lived. And my mom. This is crazy. This is kind of a crazy story. My mom. We were the first ones there. My mom was always like that. And we got right up front, and my mom got so pissed off that the news people were in front of us and we couldn't get close enough to see the president. So my mom, and this is an absolutely true story, she reached through the crowd of the press and grabbed the president's cuff of his suit and pulled him over to us and said, "You have to shake my boy's hands." And he just turned around and said, "How many do you have, lady?" And took all of our hands with both of his hands and shook our hands.
Oh wow.
That would not happen today, by the way. But yeah, it was kind of a crazy little story, but it's absolutely true. It really happened.
You might refer to Colonel Potter of MASH when I tell you these three stories, but he says almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Right.
I almost met such famous people. One was when I was in Bosnia. My convoy just got to a camp like 20 minutes after First Lady Clinton had left.
Oh, wow.
I missed that one. Okay. Next one was I worked for a contractor to the Red Cross, similar position I have now, and they had what they call it, a DOC, Disaster Operations Center.
Okay.
And they wanted us, the contract, to have representation at their Disaster Operations Center. And we're like, we pushed back like it's not.
Now, were you a civilian over in Kosovo, or were you
Bosnia.
in military, or in Bosnia? I mean,
Bosnia,
sorry.
yeah. I was a Sergeant E5.
Okay.
And in the Blue Spaders, 126 Infantry, 1/26 Infantry, 1st Battalion, under Colonel Robin P. Swan, one of my heroes. Red Cross. We push back. One, it's not in our contract. Two, everything we do, we can do without being right there. In fact, being right there would be a hindrance. And
Right.
it was a back and forth push. And finally, we won. Right after it was finally determined that we will not be representative at the dock in person, President Obama came and toured the dock. I'm like,
Oh, that's interesting. You missed him by that much, man.
Missed him by that much.
That's
and
crazy.
The last one, my sweetie and I got a tour of the White House. Of course, it's certain sections now. It's not the whole thing. And we were like, I wonder if we'll meet a member of the Obama family, of the first family.
Right.
We didn't, but at one point she got excited and I turned around and the Secret Service was walking that, was it like some kind of poodle? I can't remember its name, but so I saw a member of the first family, the dog.
Right. Hey, that's something else, you know. And the thing is to me, it's an honor to meet any president. I don't care what is beside their name. It's the office that I respect. And and so when I met these folks, and I was in the military when Clinton came, he actually spoke to us for the 50th anniversary of the victory in Europe. And that was at Wheeler Army Airfield. You can actually still find it on C-SPAN's YouTube channel and see that formation. It was a huge formation of every branch of service at the time, and a very hot day, by the way. It sucked to stay in formation that long. But yeah, I got to meet Hillary, and I got to meet Chelsea, and I got to meet Bill. And that was just random. I was no one special. They just said, you, and you, come here. We got a detail for you. And I just happened to be a part of the group that met with the president. Just, you know, how you doing? Thank you for your service, that kind of thing. That was all that happened. I mean, not anything extravagant, but yeah, little thing there.
Damn, Michael Andreas, it is hard to get a word in edgewise with you just constantly talking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, damn it, Mike.
He's still alive. Okay.
So I'll share my presidential views. The only presidents I've seen are Clinton and Reagan.
Okay.
In person?
That from afar.
Oh, and I saw Trump in Tampa. He came to Tampa, and that's like about 100-something miles from where I am. And we drove down there and saw him, but he wasn't president yet. He was running for office at the time. And that was a fucking long day too, by the way. But anyway, but I saw him.
I met Ted Kennedy. Does that count?
That counts. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm old enough to have seen JFK in person.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I had to verify that because I always had the memory.
Now, where were you when he was assassinated?
In second grade.
In second grade. So you do remember that, though, right?
Oh, yeah. They came over the speaker system in the school.
Wow.
And I remember they were playing the radio broadcast over.
That had to be something else. So, I mean, at that young of age, you probably didn't understand.
Well, that's what I was going to say. For us, it was like confusing, and you'd see all these teachers crying and stuff, and didn't really know what was going on.
Right.
But yeah, I always remembered seeing him go by in a parade. And I asked my brother one time, I said, is this a real memory? Because, you know, when you're like 3 years old, a lot of times you remember a dream or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, I was on my father's shoulders, and I said he was going by, and everybody, of course, was cheering and stuff. And I said to my mother, "Who is that?" And she said, and I think she said he's going to be president. I don't think she said
Oh,
he is president. I
Oh.
think it must have been right when he was running or something. But yeah,
that's interesting. I mean, I would have loved to have seen, JFK, of course, was a great president. There's no debate about that, I think. And I'll tell you the one, I mean, of course, 9/11, but the one other tragedy that I was actually there for was when the Challenger blew up.
uh,
I was there on a field trip as a kid. You mentioned being in school. I was in middle school at the time, the old junior high. It used to be junior high. And I went to, we went to on a bus on a field trip to go see the teacher go up. And boy, did she, apparently. So, yeah. Oh, we got an echo now.
Whoever just joined, you need to
Oh,
mute
shoot.
your YouTube tab.
All right, hold on. Let me see. All right, my YouTube tab isn't open, so I'm going to go into echo cancellation here. Any better?
Yes.
Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's much better. For anyone
Much better.
who wasn't here earlier, Daddy's Court appointed 3D for auditor. For auditor. I just realized that. This is if it's the same guy. If it's not Vegas playing with me again, it's broken system, broken trust. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that right. It's Daddy's court-appointed auditor. The 3 has a significance in there because it's 3-dimensional world. 4D is, or the 4 is got a meaning in there as well.
Oh,
When
okay.
you start seeing the world in the 4th dimension, basically you raise your level of consciousness. You know,
What
you
about the fifth
basically.
dimension?
What's that?
What about the 5th dimension?
I don't know about the 5th dimension there, Tats.
They-
I don't
they
know
had-
about the 5th dimension.
they had some good music. They had good
Yeah,
music.
exactly. See, Mike was going to catch on. I used
I'm
to
still
listen.
trying to ascend from the 3rd.
This is the dawning of the age.
Exactly.
I'm still
But
having
hey, I
trouble working
had a
with two
serious
dimensions.
question for Tats.
Yeah, there go right
Oh,
ahead.
sorry
sir.
if I'm talking over you guys. I might have a bad connection or something. But Tats, I had a legit question for you real quick. You remember in one of the last times I was on your channel, and then somebody had displayed a message, and then they tried to mislead you and kind of deceive you a little bit as to the meaning of that message. Have you had time to maybe, think about what they were trying
To
to
be
do?
honest with you, I can't recall. Right, this a second. I get mucked up in so much shit. I can't recall what happened. What happened?
Yeah,
I'm
it
so
was
damn
about me.
famous right now. I can't remember every little thing.
Yeah, okay, so I'll refresh your memory real quick. It was when Guadalupe Guacamole was in there, and she had said, I said she didn't send me her kitty pics, which meant, like her naughty pics. And then everybody was trying to say, did he mean kitty pics as in kitty porn, right? And do you remember they were trying to deceive you and trying to get you to believe that that's what I meant?
Well, I don't know that they did deceive me because I still haven't gotten to the bottom of it. Is that what you meant, or is it not what you meant? I don't know.
Well, of course, that's what I meant. And Lupe knew it right away. And even some of the folks that had seen me and Lupe's Discord conversation, they even were calling Lupe out in your chat, like in your live chat. They were like, hey, wait a second, Lupe. I know what he's talking about. You
In
don't.
Discord?
I
'Cause I
guess
don't
what
have
I'm trying to
Discord.
say is like there's such a level of deception that's going on. Aren't you bothered by deception?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, wouldn't it bother you? Like, because it would bother me tremendously if somebody was trying to deceive me, like on my own channel, in my own chat, and trying to steer things or guide things in a certain direction when there's
Well, you have to
absolutely no
admit,
merit to it.
at face value that comment was sketchy.
Well, you realize I make a lot of comments that are sketchy. I mean, I proclaim myself as a First Amendment champion, which, I guess that kind of shows off my statist beliefs a little bit because I phrased it First Amendment champions when really, I guess what I would consider myself now is a free speech advocate
Right.
because it's kind of like a global standard of human rights. It should be to have the right to free speech, free thought, free expression, things like that. So, as a First Amendment champion, as a champion of free speech, do you think I'm going to push the line from time to time?
Well, yeah, but when it comes to and I don't want to mention it on anybody's channel, but things of that nature, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. When it alludes to anything that's even remotely could be associated with that, it's going to repel me like garlic in a vampire. I mean, I'm just not about that.
Well, let me give you credit, Tats. Let me give you credit because at least you had the decency and the common courtesy to ask for clarification.
Right.
And then we got this, and then of course we got it cleared up, and it made sense, especially, with the benefit of hindsight. I'll say it again: benefit of hindsight is helpful.
Right.
So it kind of helps you to see. But for me, what I was hoping is, man, maybe Tats is going to pick up on. There's folks here trying to deceive him right now, and maybe that's going to like plant a seed in your in your mind, like, hey, maybe there's certain things that folks are intentionally
I'm well aware of that.
trying.
I'm well aware of that. I mean, everybody fights like 15-year-old schoolgirls on YouTube.
I would agree.
I mean, it's
But
probably.
do you see? But going back to what I said with asking for clarification, don't you see how just one simple step of asking for clarification could probably just eliminate the majority of rumors that we have running around out there?
Yeah, but even for that reason, I was just gonna say screw it. YouTube's not even worth it. I'm just tired of all the damn drama, either self-created or not. I never realized it was so visceral on YouTube.
So what are you looking to get out of your YouTube experience then?
What am I? Actually, at this point, I just want to have a little fun, man. Girls just want to have fun. You know what I mean?
So okay, I mean that's a fair answer. If David Finkel, I mean, like, what is your goal for your YouTube journey?
Do you work for YouTube? Do you work for YouTube? Because if you do, I really have some complaints for you.
I do not. I have no formal positions. I just take jobs throughout the winter to survive, and then I do like handyman shit in the spring and the summer. That's what I do. But
okay,
I was refreshing my lifer juice and doing something directly or indirectly related to that, but you don't want to know about that. Heard a couple things. Drama like 15-year-old girls. I want to confess I'm not a day under 16.
okay.
And I think somebody asked me what my goal was with YouTube. I've achieved my goal. My goal is to spend time. It's been a time suck. I have definitely exceeded that goal. This has been a huge time suck for me. And I find it somewhat addictive. I think I'm going to have to start a new 12-step program for YouTube addiction.
That might be true. I mean,
oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I have very low audio, so if I cut anybody off, I apologize. It's very difficult for me to hear for some reason, but at least the echo isn't there, so I'm going to run with this. But I guess I'd have to. I'm asking the question because I've often asked myself, what am I looking to get out of YouTube? So, and I think that's. I would like to hear everybody's answer to that. Tat said, just a little bit of fun. David Finkel, you're just seeing where this goes. I'm sorry, my audio is low.
Wait, can I change that to I want a yacht?
Okay.
Okay, there we go. I want to change.
All right.
That's funny you mentioned that. My avatar for my work teams is me in a kayak. It's probably 6 years old.
Right.
A buddy of mine we've been kind of having similar jobs and working together or close to each other for several years, not just our current company, but his background is him on his yacht. And we compete about who has the better boat. My rented kayak is far superior to his yacht.
Well, what do they say? I mean, I do have a nice boat, but they always say what's the best time for a boat is the first time you get it, and then the last time you see it. So all the maintenance issues that you have to deal with. I have a 21-foot Boston Whaler right now. It's a nice boat, but I haven't been out on it in a piece. I'm thinking about getting rid of it myself.
I just have a graphic of me in a rented kayak on smooth water. I don't do that whitewater stuff. But my goal in YouTube really is just a time kill, something to do. My direction has changed a few times. You may have noticed I just recently tried
would it be a fair assumption to say that I think the majority of folks that get on here are maybe searching for some sort of meaning in their life? They're either looking for monetary gain or some sort of meaning. I think those are kind of the two options.
I already know the meaning of life. I've already said that on my channel several times. You're not paying attention, PTSD or whatever they call you. I say the meaning of life is loving each other and helping each other. That's the meaning of life.
I always
Well, I
thought it
think,
was
but
42.
I think that's too rough of a explanation. I mean, I
Oh,
agree that that should be like the goals, but you do realize that we live in a world with sadistic fucks that like to tear the world down
no,
at the
I'm
same
not saying.
time.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that is what I believe the ideal situation is for life. I think that if we had more people trying to help each other instead of tear each other down, I think if people and I'm a hypocrite, by the way. I admit that. And because everybody's a hypocrite, in my opinion, everybody in the entire world's a hypocrite.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we're all capable of being hypocrites. I mean,
yeah.
like if you know yourself, you know you're capable of being
Right,
hypocritical.
we're all liars, we're all cheaters, we're all everything, because we've all done all of those things. And but at the same time, in a perfect world, in the ideal situation, I believe we are put on this planet um for to love and treat each other good or well, you know.
I think we were put on the planet to test. This is one giant test. It's just a giant test to see if you're going to pass the test. That's what I believe. But Tats, I was saying, but is it fair to say that some folks would venture into YouTube searching for meaning? Not you particularly, but just folks in general.
Is anybody else allowed to talk? Because I have a couple of thoughts.
No, not at all. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, please, Mike and Muxter, please weigh in.
First of all, I think if you're looking to validate your life with YouTube or Facebook or anywhere else, you have a very sad life. And secondly, I've noticed that Daddy's Court, whatever you said your other name is, you're one of those guys that pretends to ask questions, but you're only really doing it to advance your own ideas. You're not really, you don't really seem interested in what Tat's answer is because you keep saying, oh, but don't you think? Don't you think? Anyway,
That
that's my
might be
thoughts.
fair. That might be fair criticism, except for I did ask Tax, is it fair to say that folks come onto YouTube searching for some sort of meaning in their life? And then he
Because that's
immediately,
what you think.
no,
But you
well, of
say,
course that's what I think. Otherwise I
yeah,
wouldn't have said it, right? You have to think it first before you say it.
a
But I'm
proper
saying,
question was the way you started when you said, why, what do you think? What are you looking for from YouTube? What do you think people are looking for YouTube? When you say, don't you think that what people are looking for is more cat videos? You're projecting that.
I love cat
I
video.
could it could be a giant projection on my part. Yeah, I mean it could be a projection. I know for me, the meaning that there is meaning in what I'm doing. I feel it like it channels through me. It's not. I mean,
Oh,
it's something that I'm doing that I don't know why I'm doing it, but I know it's the right thing to do.
there was one other thing I wanted to mention. We're totally ignoring the people in chat.
Yes.
They'll get over it.
Speaking of the people in the chat, if you want to weigh in, as long as there's less than 10 of you, you're welcome. As far as my point of my purpose for being on YouTube, I don't really have a purpose. I don't have a goal in mind.
I mean, keep in mind the question I asked was, what folks want to get out of YouTube. I started with Tats, what he wanted to get out of YouTube, and he said to just have fun. Then he changed it playfully to he wanted a yacht, and then you were kind of weighing in on your answer. So, but that was the original question: is
Yeah.
what you're looking to get out of YouTube.
I'll get a little on a soapbox, and feel free to interrupt me because I don't want to grandstand. But when I was a kid, something came out in popularity called a CB radio, and my friend and his dad and I would listen and sometimes talk on it. Back in those days, you needed a license of some sort. But I realized even at that young age, this is a way for people to connect. And later on in life, I learned about MySpace and Facebook. Whether or not people have something in common, human beings need connections, and preferably you do that in person. The pandemic kind of pushed us away from the in-person and brought us onto things like Teams or what we're doing right now, or Zoom. Zoom is a big one, and people still want to connect, whether meaningfully or frivolously. I think is connect. some people. Now, as far as my goal, I originally came on here to take other people's inventories to pull them apart and pick on them and stuff. And for example, I think this guy's purpose on YouTube is to make money and to make himself feel better by tearing others down, which is kind of silly because he's a murderer who may be facing charges and he keeps overstepping with his mouth. But that's all I got to say about that. So we can get back on to whatever topic we've digressed to, because like Seinfeld, I don't really have a purpose. This is a show about nothing, really.
That's the best kind.
Well, I love shows like that because then you can kind of mold it or, kind of steer it towards where you want to go, which is, I think, the accusation that Muckster was giving me is that I'm asking questions because I want to lead a conversation to a certain place. And absolutely I do. I like talking about the things that I like talking
You
about.
like talking, you like talking, you like talking.
I do like talking, but I do like getting folks answers. And I
Not
do
very
appreciate-
often you don't.
Not very often I don't.
In this corner.
We got Muckster.
Hey, I'm sorry,
Muckster's coming in
I'm
hot.
sorry, but when I sit here and listen to one guy talk forever,
Yeah.
it starts to annoy me.
Something I have learned during the pandemic and all of our time on Zoom is there's just enough of delay that if we do like to talk, and we do, we miss the. At some point in Foam Pro training for help desk, I was taught listen for that 7-second pause, because usually people, when they're rambling on, at 7 seconds they take a breath, and that's the chance to interrupt or interject, get your word in. We're getting out of that habit. We just can keep rambling on, and it is hard to jump in. So as long as we keep it polite, I invite anybody who's on my panel to say, wait a minute, I want to talk, and just go ahead and jump in there. You might feel like you're being rude, but the truth is, if you just let me keep on rambling like Kaiser, you may never get a word in edgewise. Right, Mike Andreas?
Yep.
He really talks too much, Michael Andreas. If you want to get on somebody for talking too much, I think he...
Are you kin to San Andreas?
Sorry about that. I'll try to do better in the future.
And we're just playing. You can sit silently or you can grandstand. It's really, I don't really have rules. I just have time limit. Oh, wait, that's right. Master Sergeant's not coming on today. Like I say, I missed Master Sergeant show. Anybody watching who watches Master Sergeant, keep in your thoughts. He injured his back while shoveling. Massachusetts get a lot of that white shit. And so he didn't really want to do his show today.
I just think it was all the bullshit that he likes to shovel when it comes to Kaiser, like all the Kaiser's bullshit. It hurt your back sometimes.
I was misunderstanding you. I thought you said Master Sergeant was shoveling bullshit. Oh, he's
No.
Kaiser's bullshit. I got you.
Shoveling, yeah, you got to shovel Kaiser's bullshit to get out of your way so you can actually do anything. Like for me, I'm even starting to feel like Kaiser is almost, because I care too much is what I do. I think I care too much about what Kaiser's doing, and I need to stop that. I think I've done my part, and now I want to just pass on the reins. But what I really want, Master Sergeant Retired, if you're listening, is I want you and Don Shipley to do a collab on Kaiser. And if Don Shipley, man, God bless Don Shipley, but if he could ever stop going after these Navy SEALs, which mean nothing to the Army, and go after a guy like Kaiser, it would mean the world.
Is he the guy who does YouTube videos about stolen valor people?
Who, Don Shipley?
Yeah.
Don Shipley. I've had the opportunity to speak with Don Shipley a couple times on the phone. I brought to his attention Kaiser. Not to his attention, but to his wife's attention, Kaiser and his wife. This was in the very beginning of this whole thing, and when I was speaking to Diane about it, Diane was like, "I smell shit," and referring to Kaiser's story, because I told her what Kaiser's story was, and I said, "Well, do you think Don would be willing to take this up, and talk about Kaiser a little bit?" And she said, "Well, honey, he's so busy with the Navy SEAL, the fake Navy SEALs and all that stuff, that he just really doesn't have time to do it for the Army thing. I was, but I've seen him do Army ones too. But it seems like he's trying to more focus on that, which is fine. I mean,
I don't blame him. If I was going to do stuff, I'd do it on cool, like, Navy SEALs and Marines and like the cool armed forces. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah,
he is a former SEAL.
yeah,
so
he's a
it's
former SEAL himself. Yeah,
It's personal for him.
right.
It's perfectly natural for the services or the elite parts of the services to kind of dog and rib the others.
Right.
But it's like I can pick on my brother, but if you pick on my brother, you're gonna have to face me.
Correct.
It's the same way. I might say Marines eat crayons, but if a civilian out there says a Marine eat crayons, I might no, that's my
The
brother.
orange ones are the best. The orange ones taste the best. The only one closest is blue. You know what I mean?
Actually, I always tell people though that I didn't join the Marines because I can read.
Well, that's yeah.
And you could probably say that because whatever Marine hears that, he's got a good one for you're
Of
the
course,
medic. in the
absolutely,
Army, right?
absolutely. I always say the sound of hit shit in the fan is Marine.
Marine, yeah.
So I
The
guess
reason
it's
why
safe to say,
they have Marines on a Navy ship is so the sailors have men to dance with.
yeah, the Marines are the Department of the Navy, the men's department.
Right. I mean, all of those. There's all kinds of little things like
Yeah.
that. I mean, but it's all in good fun. It's not. It doesn't mean anything.
So, of all the folks that are up on the panel, can I ask a quick question? Is how indoctrinated and statist do you think you let yourself become on a scale from 1 to 10? And I'll admit I was 10 out of 10 statist, hardcore. I mean, I joined the Marines for crying out loud. I was willing to sacrifice my life for the state, right? On a scale from 1 to 10, how statist would you say you are? I mean, I'll start. I'm about a 2 on the statist scale as far as extreme statist.
Did you say sadist or statist? That's two different things.
Statist.
Okay.
STATIST.
Just want to make sure because if I start telling people about my sadist tendencies, then it's really going to get crazy.
Yeah, that's for Discord, not for YouTube.
Okay, perfect.
I'm unclear. Do you mean our status as being a veteran of a branch, or being a veteran at all, or being pro-auditor or anti-auditor or political? Our status as what? I mean, I'm a multidimensional.
Well, okay. So maybe I could define statist as in you would do anything for the government that you have, even if it's a de facto government, whatever government is the ruling power, the recognized power at the time. How indoctrinated, how in love with that state are you on a scale from 1 to 10?
I don't know how to measure that because you can have a right-wing or left-wing House of Representatives, or a right-wing or left-wing Senate, or a right-wing or left-wing president. How would I define the government? It's kind of, or even local politics. It's kind of hard to follow.
Yourself as a statist.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. I'm asking you, how much of a statist are you? I used to be a 10 out of 10 hardcore statist. Now I'm a softcore statist. Like, I believe in I guess voluntarism is, I guess, the proper term that I would say most closely reflects my.
Why do we have to be anything? To be honest with you, like I don't even think about that. To be honest, that's just something I don't even think about.
Right, you don't even think about it.
No, it's not even high. Like if as far as how much do I trust the government? Probably 1.21 gigawatts. In the negative. In the negative. But I mean, I think you defined military service incorrectly for everyone. See, you're painting with a broad brush, saying that basically when you serve in the military, you're serving on behalf of the government, which is not true. We swear to the Constitution, not the government. And
I mean, that's incorrect. You know what I mean?
That's correct.
No, you are serving the military-industrial complex when you go in. You're individually sacrificing yourself.
What I defined my reasoning for going in the military is personal to me. What somebody else does is personal to them.
Yeah.
Was I serving to serve a government? No, I was serving so other people didn't have to.
Full disclosure, my initial enlistment started out in the National Guard while I was in high school. was to be more popular. I was one of the lesser popular kids in high school. I saw one of the more popular ones wearing a uniform to school. I'm like, what's this all about? And he explained how he was in the National Guard as a reservist. I'm like, I'm going to be popular. That was my initial goal. My second goal when I went active duty into the Navy was to have a full-time job. Neither was altruistic. Both of them were all about me. I needed a job and I needed to impress other kids and girls. Somewhere along the lines, it became more of trying to be of service. I'm not really sure where I can define where it became less. So I need to do this for a job or I need to do this to impress people. It did become to be of service. And now I'm at a point in my life where I realize there's a difference between altruistic service and service with a less than altruistic mind.
With a caveat to it.
I'm sorry?
With a caveat to it, like an ulterior motive. Like, I guess, I mean, when I was in boot camp, because I was in the Marines, when I was in boot camp, I remember the drill instructors, one of the first questions they ask is who's here for the college money? And I think 3 kids in the platoon raised their hand. And yeah, I mean, that was kind of like the first test the drill instructors gave them.
Well, like I said, everybody serves for their own different reasons. I mean, you can't paint with a broad brush and say everybody serves for this particular reason.
No. What I was saying is that if you're in the military, though, it's pretty safe to assume you're a hardcore status. Like, let me just ask you a question.
I don't believe that's true, to be honest with you.
Did you pledge allegiance to the flag when you were in school?
Of course I did.
Did you do that on a daily basis?
Of course I did.
Do you stand for the national anthem at a sporting event?
Not anymore because I don't go to any of them.
But if you did, if you did, did you stand when you went to those sporting events?
Yeah, of course I did.
Did you attend a public school system?
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
are you indoctrinated?
Why do you think I can't spell worth of shit?
Okay, are you indoctrinated? So you're on the status scale. You're running 10 out of 10 status stats.
No. What you're saying is because of all the things. No. What you're doing is you can't separate my environment from me. I just because I attended all of those things, just because I did all those things, doesn't mean that that's me.
I'm going to get up on my soapbox.
Get up on your soapbox.
Most can do that, right? Now, when we talk about service, altruistic, non-altruistic, service to the country, blah, 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 I think as veterans, we tend to forget service isn't necessarily about the military. A little while ago, someone said, I think every American should serve for 1 year, either military or civil. To me, service to the country can include a public school teacher, a person who comes to my front curb and removes my trash and recycling. They are providing a service. Yeah, they're getting paid, but they're also doing something that we need. Hell, if you go to the McDonald's drive-thru and that guy who takes your order, and then when you get to the second window, he gets the right change and is taking the next order, he's providing a service. Is it national service? Not really, but what motivates people to serve in various ways? It's not all military service. I think I read somewhere that less than 1% of Americans serve in the military. Can we look down at 99% of the country? No. We have to look up to firefighters, teachers, librarians, cops. Whatever you think about cops, there are good cops and bad cops. Most of them I would say are good, but there's a lot of ways of serving, and there's a lot of reasons for serving in various ways. Any of them could be doing it for the money or to impress someone or because they really want to be a value to the community. And I'm going to get off my soapbox now because that coffee's going right through me. I'll be back in a minute.
I understand that as well.
I appreciate the discussion. I really do.
Actually very good questions. I think it's thought-provoking discussion. I think it was good questions. I do question the motive behind it, but of course everybody questions everybody's motive about everything. There doesn't always have to be a motive though.
I question my motive on shit now. You know what I mean? Like I question myself and I question my own motive. I think that's what this whole
that's a healthy thing to do by the way. You should question your own motives.
Well, I think that's what this experience has been, meant for, this life experience for, that when we were talking about meaning and what, the search for meaning in the world, for me, this is meaningful and I don't know why. And I don't think I'm meant to know why.
Oh, well, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing
Now,
wrong with
somebody
that.
keeps bugging me, Tats. They want to know what is stolen valor. What is stolen valor? How would you
What
define
is
stolen
stolen valor? Oh my gosh! Don't stump me like that. I don't know how to answer that. No,
Do you seriously
stolen.
not know?
Of course I know. Of course I know.
Okay.
Okay, stolen valor is when you make false claims about acts of valor. So, and acts of valor is defined as bravery when you wear a medal of valor, such as a Purple Heart, or you claim that you had a Purple Heart, which is a medal of valor. You claim that you served in combat, which would have in the army, you would have received the combat badge for that, and that is a badge of valor. And when you claim that, that is stolen valor. But the crux, or the defining part of that is that you're trying to gain something out of it, either
Yeah.
financially or physically, you know, like whatever it is it might be, something you're gaining from it, you're profiting from it. So so you're making claims like a Medal of Honor, a Silver Star, you served in, you were wounded in combat, everything that Kaiser did, as a matter of fact, that is stolen valor, because what he did was he made those claims on his channel and gained the admiration and respect of other people. And I have talked to those people who actually did donate money to his channel because they believed him to be a combat wounded veteran. That's exactly what stolen valor is. And
Isn't it weird too, Tats? Isn't it weird that now he got the foot in the door in that? It's just become accepted that he's like got a military background, but the folks that are in the dark believe he's got a legit military background.
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Like
And that's
to me, I'm amazed that a rumor could take root that much, where folks still believe
right.
he was like, the first time I heard the dude talk, I was like, this dude, no fucking way. This dude, there's something really fucked up about this dude. I could tell the instant I fucking talked to him. So any vets that are trying to say that they were fooled by him, I'm like, I don't know. I think they weren't fooled all
You
along.
got to back up a little bit. There are people, like, even when you listen to Don Shipley's story, okay, Don Shipley is like the creme de la creme of stolen valor, right? And Don Shipley himself was duped by a phony Navy SEAL himself. So to say that is not true. There are a lot of people that talk a good game until they don't. And that's what happened with Kaiser. He talked a good game. He duped a lot of people who did serve in the military. And then what happened was he talked a little too much. And when he did that, he started talking about those medical issues, such as walking on a broken tibia for 3 weeks with a linear fracture and a oblique fracture of his tibia. That would be impossible. He did not have that happen. He was not struck with an RPG. It did not stop his vehicle from going 70 miles an hour to 0 in less than a second. Those vehicles are not capable of such speeds. He did not do any of that. And that's where he effed up with me, because what I did is, and I'll admit this freely, and I have before, that I made the initial video about him based on my knowledge that I gained while I served in the military as a medic. I based that first video on that information that I had on my own. I was actively seeking out his DD-214 at the time, but that is what I did. And I made that first video, and then when he effed up and told the wrong story, then no, PDF elves. The thing is you don't know who the fuck I am. That's the problem, because you think I'm pretending to be someone else, but you don't know. So who
Why
am I?
did you take that as an accusation?
He's just a troll anyways.
They troll me
PDF
all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I-
PDFLs is just a troll, and that was where the question came from, was that PDFLs. But who cares about PDFLs? The question
Yeah,
was still a good
right.
question. And what I'd like to say about the question is, stolen valor. I think there's two levels to it. One is kind of like impersonating a soldier or impersonating a Marine or somebody that was in the military. That's harmless. It's kind of like you're cosplaying in a way. You're looking up to somebody, and then there's the dangerous level where you're going to use it to try to gain benefits and scam
Right,
folks out of
but
money.
that's the actual definition of it, is when you're gaining something from it. There are people that embellish their military service all the time. They see a hot chick and they're like, "Hey, you know what?
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, like
I was an
anybody that wants
airborne
to fluff,
ranger."
anybody that wants to fluff up, it's like, is
There's
it
a
going to work in the
difference
long game?
between
I don't know.
there's a
Well, to me,
difference
that's
between
stolen valor
that.
as well. Using claimed service to impress a chick is stolen
Right?
valor.
No. I agree with that, but what
Help,
I'm saying is,
help,
but what I'm
help.
saying that isn't defined by law that way.
I
By
mean, let's
law,
put it this way.
it's financial and physical gain from that type of thing.
Well,
Help.
isn't there a huge difference between embellishing to, just outright lying?
Yeah,
Right.
time out. Just a request for anyone who's more
Offsides,
familiar
5-yard
with.
penalty. Go ahead, sir.
I'm stuck on this is an example of a banner. How do I get rid of that? Does anyone know how to get rid of that?
Wait. This is an example of a banner. Click the banner to show it on the screen. I honestly, I don't know. I'm not savvy enough to maybe
On the middle and
somebody else knows.
StreamYards, you should have banners. There should be a banners tab. There should be 3 of them. One of them says comments, then one says banners, and then the other says brand, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Okay,
Yeah, I think as guests, we don't see the same interface that you do as host.
Yeah, that's correct. You don't.
damn it. I guess I'm stuck with it until my next live stream. Okay, I missed a lot of that. You guys giving Michael and Muxer a chance to talk?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. Do try. Please do try.
I'm muting right now. I'm going to mute the mic. I am capable
Well,
of
actually,
muting
I'm
a
about to
microphone.
drop down because I'm hungry and I need to eat some
Me as well.
sustenance.
You both ate yesterday.
That is true. And by the way, you're only guaranteed 3 meals a day, and they don't have to give you the time to eat it in. And that's what I was told when I was in the Army one time.
Eat it now, taste it later.
Yep, exactly. Knock it down your nasty hole. All those things. But yeah, I was told that if I'm not supposed to be tasting it. That's absolutely true. And if I'm talking, I'm done. That was basic training, by the way. If you're talking, you're done. Get up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, it was a pleasure to be up here. I appreciate it. David Finkel, I wish your channel well. I think it's going to do great, especially if you make it about nothing every time and people are just talking about whatever they want to talk about. I love it, and I think it's great. And I think that is a platform that will go far, and you will become a millionaire within 7 to 10 working days. I cannot guarantee that, but I can
unless
just
I don't
say,
forward this email, then bad things will happen to me.
Results vary.
yes. No, what I said, PDFLs, is you don't know who the fuck I am. So you don't know if I'm pretending to be someone or I'm not pretending to be someone. You don't know. So shut the fuck up. How about that? How about them apples? Get your nose out of my asshole. All right. Y'all have a great day.
See you, Tats. Yeah,
Tell us
fuck
how
you,
you live.
PDFLs. Yeah, and not for Tats reasons, but fuck you, PDFLs. You're just a piece of shit.
Used to pretend to be. Full disclosure, I am not David Finkel. I am a name I don't want you to know. I am not a corporal captain. In fact, I don't believe there is such a rank in any armed force anywhere in the world. There may be. I guess that would be a non-commissioned commissioned officer. It's a spoof off of MASH, and it's making fun of Kaiser's stolen valor.
Can I say something?
Please do.
About my service? And I think I'm probably the only one here who jumped 3 ranks when I went from a major asshole to just a general nuisance.
Major, lieutenant colonel. Yes, 3 ranks. You're right. Okay, I had to think about that one. What was the last one? General what?
Nuisance.
I salute the general nuisance and the major asshole, by the way.
As you were. As you were, or maybe better.
No, I don't believe one just rage quit. I think we've been on for over 2 hours and 18 minutes. Some of people out there have other lives to attend to. I just got off shift. I'm off shift until 11 p.m. tonight. Of course, I was going to stop at 11 for Master Sergeant's throat punch Thursday, but he's unfortunately on the injured list. He's on. He's got a profile from the aid station. No YouTubing for 24 hours. I hope it's only 24 hours. But,
By the
A
way,
bad back will do that to you. A bad back will do that to you.
I think PDF wasn't making an accusation. I think they were just looking for a definition of stolen valor.
That could be true, but I know PDFLs, and they're there to cause trouble and stir up drama. PDF is a washed-up 1A auditor who's bitter and resentful now against the whole 1A community, and then he projects his pedophile claims on other folks, which I find very disturbing, because the guy accused others of being a pedophile with no proof. He accused one of my friends. He accused me of being a bad person by proxy because I hung out with the guy for the accusations. And none of them were true. I've seen no proof of them. So to me, he's just projecting his bullshit onto somebody else. But it was a good question, I thought, the stolen valor thing. And I think that didn't need to be clarified as well.
does he have in parentheses? I'm just curious. I don't know one way or the other. Does he have in parentheses the letters Whiskey Charlie Mike WCM?
I don't know.
That would be an indicator. In fact, I may have some WCMs here today because their dear leader is apparently off the interwebs for a few days because he was a naughty boy. The self-proclaimed expert on community guidelines and terms of service.
MSG said it best. He's an expert on everything. The guy is just an expert on everything.
We're talking about
Yep.
Friday Wrangler? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Fake Decker.
Definitely a self-proclaimed expert. Yeah,
But-
here he is.
On everything, and it's usually wrong.
There you go. And I'm a fool. And, the only thing I know is that I know nothing at all.
Was
By the
that,
way-
That's progress. If you recognize
carry on
that-
thy wayward son. There's a line in there that I actually relate to. Full disclosure, if I claim to be a wise man, it surely means that I do not know.
So to back up about 3.5 hours, I meant to mention before on that flag avatar, kept talking about the U.S. flag being below and tattered. To give that person any kind of credit, I don't think that's an actual, not really a flag. It's just one of those little skinny decorative things.
Yeah, could be. But no, it was a real flag. It was a real flag. I've got other pictures of it as well. But yeah, no, I get it. Like, even if he did use that flag, it would still be, just wrong. I get it. Like, I think I get the mindset, I should say, like somebody trying to, I'm pro-police, I'm pro-country, you know what I mean? I'm patriotic. And then they have no clue what the symbols that they're using are or how they're going to be perceived by others, which I thought was just, so anyways, I love having that flag discussion because to me it's awesome, but maybe that's just the narcissist in me. But with that, I'll drop down as well. Thanks for having me up. I restreamed just because I saw some genuine conversation and I thought I'd be a part of it. So thank you for having me, guys.
See ya.
You're welcome to restream. You're welcome to cut out snippets and make individual videos.
Awesome. I just may do that. Take care, guys.
I do see Bandit 2804. Do you think Wrangles is a good person? I can't answer for Kelly, but I can answer for me. Hell no.
I don't think so. He puts off a bad vibe.
Yeah.
And maybe he is a good guy, but my default assumption is, no, I don't think so.
Everyone's welcome to their own opinion, but I don't think there's a chance in hell he's got a good ounce in his entire fucking evil body.
You
But
know,
that's
I
just
would
my
put the
opinion.
odds
My
of that
opinions
at
do not
about less
reflect
than
the opinion.
5%.
I'm sorry?
I'd put the odds of that at less than 5%. You know,
you know
I
what
don't know for sure. That all I know is what I've seen on the internet. which
You know what I
can
always
legally
say?
buy.
I have my opinion, and you have a right to be wrong.
By the way, yes, my opinions are my own. If I say something on the YouTube or if you find my very small Facebook page, they do not reflect the opinions of my neighborhood, my employer, either organization that I've mentioned, the Vet Center group therapies, or the other program, which I'm trying to keep off of press, radio, film, and YouTube because our traditions say we shouldn't do that, but I have done that, and my opinions don't reflect any of those, or of Muxter or Master Sergeant or the other two gentlemen whose name I already forget. Broken System, Broken Trust, Tats. It's just my opinion. So if I share an opinion and you don't like it, don't automatically associate with any of those organizations or people because it's just me. It's an old fool rambling on.
By the way, I learned
Kinda like these
something.
two guys. I'm sorry.
I learned something from John Allen over here. He mentioned about you can fool some of the people some of the time. I always attributed that to P.T. Barnum, and it was Abe Lincoln.
Sometimes famous quotes are famous people quoting previous uh, famous people. For example, in a movie about that Guyana thing, Jim Jones,
Oh yeah,
there was a sign above the camp that said, "Those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it." I thought he was the original quoter. It turns out he was quoting Adolf Hitler. And I thought, okay, maybe Adolf Hitler was the original. And no, Adolf Hitler was quoting Benjamin Franklin. I really don't know where that first came from. I just know where I first heard it was on a sign about the Guyana thing. No, I have really, really neglected the chat, and maybe I should pay more attention to it because it gets rid of this. This is an example of a banner. I wish I can get rid of that. Hope my next live stream doesn't automatically come up because I don't know how to get rid of it.
the worst thing about that being there, that doesn't really matter right now with only 3 of us. But if there were 10 of us here, you wouldn't be able to see anybody's names.
Yeah, that's right. It takes away the names. Let me see if I can get rid of it. Hey, Michael, Chatters, Muxter, go ahead and talk. I'm going to try and dig around and see if I can get rid of that damn thing. You are live. Remove. Well, remove me. Remove this test. Oh, no, I don't want to. No, okay, I don't want to remove that. I'm going to shut up. Guys, go ahead and talk if you want, or if you don't, you can just watch me make a fool of myself.
I was thinking what we need is a camera behind you so we could watch you doing stupid stuff.
Yeah. No, create a banner.
Oh,
Hello.
there you go.
Hallelujah. Okay. Now let's get back to where I can see the comments. Okay.
I still think
So those of you who didn't know for the last hour, this is Muxter, Michael Andreas, and David Fake Finkel.
I still think we need an avatar for Michael.
Yeah,
I thought he
probably
was a
one.
45. He's not an old time record 45 on vinyl.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
2 hours and 26 minutes, mostly about nothing, with originally an intention to make fun of Fraud at Wrangler and Era of Transparency, and see if there's any updates on for public safety. Let me actually click on that channel and see. Lives, nothing
I'll
new
say
there. Nothing new there. Okay,
one thing about Kaiser, and I'm tired of talking about him, but
I understand.
one thing I get a kick out of is him being suspended whenever he loved to brag about getting people's pages taken down and stuff.
Karma, bitches, karma. Yes. Yeah. Do unto others and then split. I'm sorry. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Kaiser's channel is monetized, and for the next 7 days, he can't make any money off it unless there's a rumor out there that he has an alternate channel. I don't know. If anybody knows that, please let me know. I hear music.
Barbara said this was a great stream. I think she's probably talking mostly about me.
Well, yeah, it's all about you, Mux. um, I did it again. I lost my train of thought. I should probably get tested for dementia or Alzheimer's. I'm doing this a lot lately. I'll be talking, I forget where I'm going. Hell, I'll be live streaming and forget where I'm going. Oh yeah, the other thing, updates on for public safety, if anyone knows any, or updates on Kaiser's temporary ban, or if he gets permanently banned. I have mixed emotions about that. I hate the guy. I hate watching him. I hate talking about him. But the truth is, and I saw Chris, I forget his name, the guy on MSNBC for the 8 o'clock slot, 8 o'clock Eastern. He was talking about somebody else, but I'm like, I can relate this so much to Kaiser. The more we talk about him, the more views he gets. But the more we talk about him, the more people are aware of his BS. He was talking about somebody else, but I'm like, this applies so much to Kaiser too. I don't like talking about him, but people, however few people you can reach out to, they need to know the guy is a murderer. The guy has 5 felonies. The guy has stolen valor. I'm sorry, are
Monosodium
you getting ready?
glutamate. I was going to say monosodium glutamate retired said Kaiser posted a link apparently to his other there.
Oh, so let me go to Mr. Kaiser, Dick Smack Extraordinaire. Was it? He posted in his community with a link because he will continue streaming on that channel. Now, one of the expert on YouTube's complaints about other YouTubers is when they get kicked off, they find other ways. Can the pot call the toss kettle black, or is it toss pot? I forget. That's from my big book reading. But let's take a look-see-poo. Community. Due to something not quite sure of this is a professional. Due to something not quite sure of, OVE, OVE, being hot with a strike that has my ability to upload content, live stream, or even post for 7 days. Translation: I've been a naughty boy and I'm being punished, and I really don't know shit about community guidelines and terms of service.
And do people not realize you can edit your mistakes? That always drives me nuts.
Yeah.
That's
And one thing I
true.
don't understand is this comment is tagged as being 7 days ago, but he's posted content tagged as being within the last 7 days.
Oh, good observation. Edited. Oh, in other words, he can't post new comments. He can only edit old ones.
Ah,
All right. So yeah, it's 7 days old, but it was just in the last, I'm guessing, around 24 hours. Okay.
Well, but he's live streamed within the last 7 days.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think YouTube has some bugs. Have you ever, noticed when you go to look at the comments below a post, it'll say that it has a 100 comment or it has 10 comments, but it'll only display 7 or 8 of them.
I have noticed that, and I've also noticed when I post comments, sometimes they disappear, and people have complained to me when they post comments on my videos, they disappear. I'll have you know, I've never deleted a comment off of my my YouTube. Not so much of a First Amendment thing, but more of if you say something really stupid, I want it to be seen that you said something really stupid. Sometimes I'm offended by the comments, but I keep them up because so if your comments are deleted off my channel, I didn't do it. I just don't do that. I'm going to try and read it again, translating as I go. Due to something I'm not quite sure of. Head on a pike. Yeah, you have no idea, do you? I've been hit with a strike that has my ability to upload content, live stream, or even post for 7 days. IILL. I'll put the link to. He typed this very frustrated and very angry because we all do typos, but this is so riddled of typos. You can tell he's like, I'm going to tell you. He's pissed. Yay. I love it that Mikey's pissed. I'll put the link on my other channel and we'll just have to stream from there. Does YouTube know that he's circumventing their banning of him?
MSG said he reported him.
Oh, Master Sergeant on it. Hurt back and all. He keeps driving on. Love the guy. Mystery Sov Sit Idiots Up Yours, Garth Nader. What?
Who's Garth Nader?
I don't
That's
know.
a reference I have no idea what it means.
No,
It sounds like a play on Darth Vader, but
yeah. Garth Nader. Yeah, I have no idea. Let me see. His most recent video is a month ago, and
Well,
his
his last
most
live
recent,
was 13 hours ago.
he did do a live since he was banned. Naughty, naughty. What does he always say about YouTubers who get copyright and privacy strikes? They put the video right back up. Isn't he complaining that they're circumventing the rules and community guidelines, the terms of service?
uh,
Can we
he also,
say hypocrite?
yeah,
Sure.
he also says that they're just trying to make money off of YouTube, and pretty much everything he says he's talking about himself.
Oh, now this one does not appear to be monetized. Okay. So is that free? He's got 228 subscribers. So this is very tough. His income, his partial income, I don't know how much of his income, has been disrupted for 7 days. Yay.
Yeah, but by doing this, he's able to keep his following connected.
That there is that, and if he does live or post a new video, we can still critique and make fun of him, which was my whole purpose this morning, was to make fun of this murdering motherfucker. Sorry if my language offends anyone. That's just how I feel. It's my opinion. It's not the opinions of anyone else I'm connected to by employment or service or whatever. It's just my opinion.
Bandit said Garth Nader is MST.
Where's it say that?
Over in chat. I can't think of who
Bandit
MST
posted
is.
that a minute ago.
Yeah.
Okay, who's MST?
Yeah, Mountain Standard Time. I don't know.
Is that an abbreviation or is that the actual name of a channel? I don't. He's going after someone of Storytime, MSC My Storytime. My adopted mother sold.
Mystery Sob Sit Theater.
Oh, mystery. Sob.
SOVCIT.
Oh, okay. This is a real thing. Let's see. 1,065 subscribers. Videos as recent as the 26th. Wait a minute. What's today's date? The 25th. His most recent video. Oh, it's premiering. I'm sorry. Pay attention, Finkel. Pay attention. Okay, so this is a real person. Apparently, has videos. How long has he been on? Oldest video is 2 years ago. Apparently, this is a former nemesis of Kaiser in a previous. What was his? Let me go back. Apparently, before Kaiser came on as fraud wrangler, I'm guessing he was this guy who just had a chapped ass about the other channel. I don't know. Circumventing YouTube's rules. You can't post. Okay. Well, he has technically he hasn't posted yet. He's edited a previous post. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Technically, he has streamed. I'm sorry. Okay. By the way, Muckster, I had a question.
Uh-oh.
Feel free to not answer or lie or answer honestly. It's up to you. I noticed on your channel you have some live streams. What application did you use for those? This one, StreamYard?
I did a test with Streamlab, but I think the ones before that, I just clicked the live thing on YouTube.
Oh, really? Because I was under the impression for those you had to have a number of follows higher than I thought.
No, it's only 50 because that's when I first started. I was begging people on Facebook and that, even if you never watch a video, please just go and subscribe so I can hit 50 because at
Oh,
the time,
okay.
especially, I was wanting to do a live of our Halloween parade, so I wanted to hit 50 before the Halloween parade. And you know, something I found out that when I hit 50, for a
Uh,
while I still couldn't do it until I turned off my ad blocker. Then all of a sudden,
oh, okay. But you're not monetized, right?
no.
Okay.
I want to say though, in this short time, I'm working on 1,000 viewers now, 1,000 subscribers.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'm at 75.
That's you're on your way. 87, 87. Now I have a smaller channel, and wow, I can't even find my own smaller channel. Oh, wait a minute. If I go to my channel, it is linked in on my homepage. Vegas, Osceola, Mr. Nice Guy. Where are me? I know I'm in here somewhere. Oh goodness, what is my smaller channel? Uh,
Political
What?
Finkel,
political. That's right. Political.
which is where you screwed up because I found out that is your real first name.
My real first name is Political Finkel.
Yeah. Well, political. I know you haven't figured out your last name yet.
Political and commentary Finkel. That's
Yeah.
me. Okay. And I have. Oh, I've got you beat. I've got 3 more subscribers than you. Haven't tried in a while, but I can't live stream on this, or I couldn't. Probably, I'm going to guess 40. I don't know. I couldn't live stream because I didn't have enough subscribers. But this is before I bought live stream. I probably should see if I can live stream now on it.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe YouTube raised the limits in the last couple of years, because in 2000, for my father's funeral during COVID, I live streamed his funeral, which we held on Zoom.
right. Okay. So
And I only I don't know, I don't even know if I hit any subscribers at all. But it took 24 hours. I had to apply to turn it on, and it took 24 hours to get it
Yeah.
turned on.
That's right. I remember that too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was just curious in case I ever want to do a live stream that is more political. I don't want to scare away I have 2 kinds of audience members who hate me going politics. One is the opposite side, just hating my side, and the other is my side, who just don't want to talk about politics in this format. There's enough cable news networks and channels specifically directed towards that. They watch this for other things, and I really don't understand because I don't have a set goal or direction. Although I got mixed emotions about Kaiser being down. I've invested in props. It's not a little bit of money. It's a considerable amount of money. I've invested in props used to, when I go back out there videoing, to make fun of Kaiser. If he's gone from YouTube, they it might not it might be a waste of my little investment.
Props, as in you're going to do some kind of a character act, like some
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
personality auditors do.
I am the drill instructor for the Chairborne Rangers and the Keyboard Commandos of the Roughnecks. I am Corporal Captain Finkel, and I'm going to be training Roughnecks under the guidance of Roughneck 6 to support Roughneck 2 and Roughneck 3 to have a Roughneck 5 directive to train the Roughnecks on how to be Chairborne Rangers and Keyboard Commandos so that they can take down sites. And now a good example is Roughneck 6's site.
Well, you know, you can always use the props to make fun of MSG and then time how long it takes them to find your house.
One does not make fun of MSG. Well, actually, I did in one of my earlier videos, but I did it lightheartedly. And if he wants me to do 1,000 push-ups, I will fake 1,000 push-ups for him. MSG. And I've also used this on Perfect Soulmates. Disclaimer, the following is not a true story. It's just a military joke. Okay. I'm at one of these live fire ranges. I forget which post, but they have latrines at live fire ranges. And latrines is usually a shack built over a shithole. No, not Kaiser's home, an actual pit for a shit. The shack is it's got benches with holes in the bench so that one can sit and do their business. The business is to take a dump. And they also have the urinals, which is this like galvanized aluminum trough that feeds into it. Well, anyway, I'm in there because we're on a range. I got the the LBE or LCE, and you have to take all that shit off, take your helmet off, rest your weapon where it's safe, and drop your trousers and do your business. Well, I'm in there doing exactly that, and because it's like an open bay shit house, you can see everybody else comes in. Well, Master Sergeant retired comes in, and he undoes his battle rattle, and as he's doing it, a few quarters fall out of his pocket down into the pit. I'm like, shit happens, right? No pun intended. But then he pulls out his wallet. He breaks out because he's the master sergeant. He's got 4 or 5 $100 bills, and he throws them down into the shithole. And I'm like, well, that was weird. And I'm like, Master Sergeant, what up? I get that the quarters was an accident, but why would you intentionally throw $100 bills down into the shithole? He looks at me and says, you don't think I'm going down there for a few quarters, do you? All right. Originality, F minus. Okay. Question, Taddy. Okay, let me. I haven't been ignoring the chat again. PDF Elves. Question. Taddy said we don't know him. Does that mean he pretended to have a nephew that was? Okay. You're welcome to your drama. In fact, I'm not going to claim I'm a drama-free site, but I'm not going to go in there. You want to harass Tats? Go over on his site and harass him. What else have I missed? I'm going to show them before I actually read them, so at my own risk. Oh, that's the one I just showed. John Allen, I think I can go live anytime on YouTube since I can press a button that says go live. I tried that on my smaller channel before I had 90 subscriptions, and it said I didn't have enough. Maybe that's changed at 90. I don't know. I do know when I open up this StreamYard, it currently points to this channel. I don't know if I can alter that, or I actually prefer this channel. This is the channel I really care about. So I don't know. Yeah, I had Go Live too, but it didn't always work for me. And I'm going back in time. Bandit 2804. I have to admit, broken system, broken trust. I'm a former drug addict. And I'm fucking knowing you can power through and reconnect with family. Or I'm break my anonymity again. I am in a 12-step program. And okay, granted, my 12-step program isn't the end-all, know-all, be-all to addiction, but it's the one I value. I'm not a former alcoholic. I am an alcoholic. I'm what we call a recovering alcoholic. I would assume if there's a 12-step program for drugs, it's the same. Of course, you don't have to go by 12-step program. That's just my opinion. There's no such thing as a former drug addict, in my opinion. You're a recovering drug addict, in my opinion. Today, you're not drugging. Today, I'm not drinking. If tomorrow either one of us does our old way of thinking and takes a drink or takes a drug, we're right back where we were on day one of sobriety. Again, that's just my opinion. But anyone out there, I'm against the idea of calling someone a former drug addict or a former alcoholic. You are or you are not. And really, I don't know how to diagnose except for self-diagnose. I self-diagnose as a recovering alcoholic. And I know from further experimentation after my initial first year, if I go to a bar and have a drink, I'm right back where I was on the first day of sobriety. My sobriety date is a year and a half after my experience with the program. But that's okay. I'm going to stop bringing out my anonymity on the level of press, radio, and films. What else have I missed? Anything? Well, does anybody else notice anything you'd like me to pull attention to? Been a while, but good to see me live. Road Dogs Media. I apologize. Apparently you know me and I don't know you. But it's good. It's good to see you on my chat, I guess. Any, I'm grandstanding. You guys want to talk, or anybody else want to join? I'm going to put the link up again, if I can find where I copied and pasted it.
So
Anyone is welcome.
would you agree that the alcoholic addiction is more psychological than physical? In other words, in your AA program, how many people actually had to go to the hospital to be detoxed before they could quit? In other words, you can drink so much alcohol that if you quit suddenly, you can have a bad physical reaction, as I understand it.
Okay. I'll entertain these questions. As I do, I want to be clear. I'm not representing Alcoholics Anonymous as a group or organization's program. It's my opinion. Some of my opinions based on what I learned or think I've learned from that, but it's not necessarily the end all be all to fact. It's how I see it. Your question was, I'm sorry, can you repeat your question? I already lost track of what.
Well, I'm asking is that alcoholism is more of a psychological addiction than a physical addiction. It can be a physical addiction in that people who've drank so much alcohol, they physically require it, and they can't stop suddenly without a bad physical reaction. So they have to be, I don't know how they go through it, give them replacement drugs or wean them off it slowly. But for the most part, it's more a psychological addiction, isn't it?
Hard for me, non-medical, non-scientific, to define. It's a compulsion, I believe. The founders, Bill and Bob, and some of the early folks of that program did get with I forget his title, was he a psychologist or a doctor? The physician's opinion, I believe, is the part of the big book that talks about it. He calls it a compulsion. So is the compulsion a physical? I have felt a physical pull towards it when I was in much better shape.
I used to smoke.
Yeah.
You know, like most people who start smoking, you do it as a teenager because it's cool. And then later on, it's not so cool. But try to stop, you know, within a few hours, you're having nicotine fits. You do have a physical withdrawal symptoms.
That is a good example.
There is a psychological component. I mean, it gives you smoking gives you something to do with your hands.
My uncle, after he quit smoking, used to say, "Can I drive? Because it gives me something to do with my hands." But as a on again, off again smoker throughout many times in my life, when I realized it's a bad thing to do, I realized it tastes bad, it smells bad, it makes me smell bad to others. There's really no positive aspect to it. But if I go a while without smoking and then I pick up a cigarette, that cigarette triggers at least the feeling that I need another cigarette, whether it's an hour later or chain smoking right away. And I don't know if that is all in my mind or not, but I initially quit drinking in May of 2011 and considered myself kind of, sort of an alcoholic, which anybody in the program would laugh at me for saying that now, or laugh with me. We tend to laugh with each other, not at each other. But about a year, I forget the math. At some point later, after I've been going to meetings very regularly, I found myself pissed off at the world. And I thought, I'm just going to have one drink. I'm going to go to an Applebee's and have one drink and one drink only. And so I challenged myself to just stop at one drink. So at this point, I'd learned that their definition of an alcoholic was somebody who can't have one drink. You're gonna be compulsed to drink another one. And so I was in Applebee's at the bar, and I ordered. Shoot, I can't remember what it was I ordered. But I ordered. I think it was a margarita. That's right, it was a margarita, and I sipped the margarita. And there were people around me talking about football, talking about politics, conversation I was interested, but I found myself unable to connect and associate. I just sipping my margarita. And I realized, okay, my challenge was, can I walk away from one drink? So I had a few sips left, and this is very hard for an alcoholic to do. I didn't finish that drink. I paid my tab, I tipped, and I walked out. Now, the Applebee's in question shares a back parking lot with a 7-Eleven. When I'm out in the parking lot, I'm thinking, I did it. I walked away from one drink. That means I'm not an alcoholic. Woohoo! I'm not one of those people. And I immediately walked right in 7-Eleven and I bought 3 6-packs of Yingling.
Yeah.
I experienced the compulsion. Is it physical? Is it psychological? I don't know, but it was definitely a compulsion, and it was triggered by the consumption of that margarita.
I remember the first time I had somebody say something like that to me. Um, a guy,
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
a guy, he was like a couple years ahead of me. I was just like 18 or 19, but I remember said something about getting a beer or something, and he said, "The problem is I can't have a beer. If I have a beer, then I can," and I just couldn't even understand the concept at the time. I was like, well, yeah, you have a beer and then you walk away or whatever, you know. I just
Yeah.
I never really been exposed. You know, my parents, well, my father, they used to get together and drink and stuff, but nobody like in the close circle, I don't think was really an alcoholic. So I just didn't really understand it, you know.
Okay. Hey, we've been on for 2 hours and 54 minutes, or at least I have. And I told myself, because of the curiosity of last night's events, if Stone Vet, Shiz, or Mesh Sergeant come on, I'm going to drop this and go to that. So I'm going to drop this and go to that. And speaking of one of the programs I'm in, I'm not. If you see me send money to Stone Vet, that's not for his weed fund. That's for his Munchies fund, because I don't mean to support mind-altering substances. Although he's a fun guy, and I highly suggest you follow me right over there to Stone Vet. He's live, and I'm very curious about what these guys have to say. Thank you, Muxter. Thank you, Michael Andreas. Thank you, chat audience, and thank everyone who came on and then left my panel, my discussion about nothing. I'm heading over to Stone Vet's place.
All right.
See you.
Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Cheerio.